On the screen it says, me having a $1,200 monthly car payment because I wanted to ride in a fast car, brown interior with ambient lighting. Some people might pronounce it ambient lighting. $1,200 monthly car payment. Let's put this in perspective as far as my own bills. All right. My Toyota Corolla Hybrid will be paid off within about 3 months. Okay, I'm literally down to less than $9,000 payment. I purchased it 4 months ago, and my goal was to pay it off in 6 to 8 months. I will hit the 8-month mark beautifully. My cost of living after that car is paid off, I return in essence again to debt freedom. All right, my cost of living, not counting the $500 a month that I budget for myself for food, my cost of living is $1,200 a month, and I did a breakdown a while back on this channel about that $1,200. So this person's car is as much as my HOA, my car insurance, which here in Florida is absolutely absurd. I think my car insurance runs like $175. It's stupid. No accidents, no tickets, no driving violations. I'm 57, the whole 9 yards, right? So we're talking my HOA, my car insurance, my electric, my gas, which admittedly is not much. It's a electric vehicle, okay? It doesn't count food, but then we've also got my cell phone, okay? All of my bills wrapped up from the big to the small, the water bill, the cell phone bill. My cost of living is $1,200. That's this person's car. So when you hear about, people having these $1,000 a month car payments, keep in mind that for many people that are perhaps more budget conscious, all right, that car payment at $1,000 can be nearly what we spend on a month in bills. Now, of course, bills are all relative. Okay, I have no children, I have no pets, yada yada. Okay, I live by myself, all right. But still, just to give you an idea, when people sit and we just cringe because we hear $1,000 a month, it's because to a lot of us it's like, oh my goodness, I could practically take care of myself on that. But that's living very budget conscious and the goal of being debt freedom as much as possible. Now we have to also say, okay, there are people who could afford it. All right. And that's true. There are. But my thought is, if you really can afford that and that's just easy peasy for you, then why are you borrowing money to get the car? Just simply purchase the car. Oops, let me play the video. Hold on. Now I'm looking at this brown interior on her $1,200 a month car. I don't get it. I don't get why I would want to fork out $300 every 7 days to ride in this car. Yeah, it kind of gives you some perspective there, don't it? Every 7 days, $300 for this car. Remember, this doesn't count gas, car insurance, maintenance. You want to fork out $300 every 7 days. Do you have that type of money? And again, if that's like, oh, that's easy, then you should be able to just buy the car outright.
Hey, Lynnsburg.
Okay, this guy here, I actually, this isn't about a car payment video. What this clip does discuss is how much car you should spend based on your salary. And I will be honest, in today's day and age, this just seems like total fantasy because hardly anyone can get it. But I will tell you, it is possible to get. You might have to go used, and you will most likely have to drop way down in what you want. Listen for your dollar figure. I'll stop it when it comes to my salary figure.
Hey, what's up?
How much can I afford to spend on a car based on different salaries?
Throw some salaries at me.
All right, $25K.
$200 a month.
Anyone got a $200 a month car payment? $25K. That was what Dave Ramsey might call a hoopty, right?
What about $50K?
$400 a month.
What about $75K?
$600 a month.
Okay, now he said 50, I think he said 50K is around $400 a month or so. All right, my Toyota Corolla, which I'm paying off in 8 months, I saved for part of it in 2023. I had part of it saved, about about 9,000 of it I already had saved. And then when I bought the Corolla, it was actually set for 5 years at about, I think it's like 500. $10 a month. So I'm actually right in the ballpark of what I could technically afford. But that's 5-year payments, and that to me is too long. I really am not comfortable with payments much beyond 3 years. And if we have to throw any stones, absolutely not past 4. But I really prefer 3 or less. I'm doing mine in 8 months, but I'm way going down, going to a Toyota Corolla.
$100,000.
$800 a month.
Okay, so $100,000 a year income. He's saying $800 a month, and these numbers sound reasonable. How many young people right now are holding on to car payments that are $800, $900, $1,000 a month, but they're not making anywhere near that? And if they are making near that, they're overextended in student loans and other bills and other luxuries. I want to go travel the world. I never knew so many people, I never knew so many people wanted to travel the world until TikTok came along.
What about $125,000?
$1,000 a month.
Okay, so you need $125,000 income respectively to get into $1,000 a month car payment. And you know darn well most of these people don't make anywhere near that. And again, if they do, they're taxed out in other areas. If you've been watching the news, you know darn well family auto repossessions are going higher and higher. Right now, it's pretty good for the towing industry. In fact, where I live, there's a huge apartment / condo. I think it's condo townhouses. There's a huge townhouse-like community across from me. It's like across the street. It's like a big pond, then there's a street, and I can see across. All right, they're not like directly next door, but they're close enough that it's kind of interesting because on Saturday nights, I'd say about once or twice a month, I see a tow truck. I kid you not, big tow truck with a flatbed rolling in there at about 11 p.m. And I'm always thinking to myself, all right, whose car's getting taken tonight?
Okay, $150,000.
About $1,200 a month.
Okay, so this first video that I just showed you guys a second ago at the opening is a $1,200 a month car payment. So they should be making $150K a year. Yeah, right. Okay, this is this one says, there's no talking on this one. It says, having a $1,000 car payment because I wanted a rose gold Mazda with tan interior and a panoramic sunroof. So based on what this guy just said, to have $1,000 a month car payment, they should be making around $150K. No, excuse me. I think they should, about $125K, right around there, to have $1,000 a month car payment. We can sit and we can say that big companies are, price gouging, and they are. Okay, shrinkflation is real. But are we also kind of doing that to ourselves? Not all of us, but a lot of us. Okay, are we following suit? And you hear people going, well, if the government's not going to have a budget, then I don't need to have a budget. That's fine. You can go ahead and throw your budget away, but in the end, you're on your own to peel yourself out. Oh my God. The outside wasn't too bad, but that mustard yellow on the inside just ain't cutting it for me. I mean, that's just personal taste, okay? Again, this is a few $100, $250, $246, $250 every 7 days. People, start looking at it and breaking it down into days. Every 7 days, you're forking this out. As a matter of fact, I think sometimes when we say it's $1,000 a month, it almost, what's the word? It almost glosses over how much money you're really paying. It's $1,000 because then in your mind you're thinking of an entire, 1 month. No, I want you to look at it as every Sunday I'm going to give my car company this much money to drive this car. Every Sunday. Start thinking of it like that. See how long it takes for you to get behind. There's a nice sunroof. Why are people paying for these? I think, is that a panoramic? I'm not even sure what a panoramic sunroof is. I don't do sunroofs, and that's because to me it's not if the sunroof is going to leak, it's when it's going to leak. And here's the thing. You can't drive anyways staring up at the sunroof. All right. When it's dark, again, drive-in movie theaters don't exist really anymore. So, I mean, I'm sure they do exist, but, they're not popular. So we don't need to look through the sunroof and stare at the stars. What is the purpose of the sunroof? Just something to think about. So here we have a person who's going to pay $250 every Sunday for their car, on top of maintenance, on top of gas, on top of insurance. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the outside, isn't a nice color. Interior leaves a little something to be desired for my choice, okay? But $250, heck no. No, I'm not shelling over a couple $100 every Sunday to drive my car. You see how that changes when you look at it like that? All right, remember this lady? The Tahoe lady, the Tahoe lady. All right, she says here, she's the lady that bought the Tahoe that was some ridiculous $1,000 a month payment. And then she bought one for her husband also. All right. I did a video on that a while back, but she's known as the Tahoe lady pretty much on TikTok. Okay, she says here, started to cry thinking about how my car just got repossessed. Yes, because her vehicle, the Tahoe's, what I believe she's talking about, she did repossess it. And then she bought, was either an Audi she bought with 100,000 miles on it. Stupid is, right? So she says here, started to cry thinking about how my car just got repossessed. And then she says, but then remembered I no longer have a car payment, and she starts dancing. Now, I want to know, when did it happen that having your car repossessed was a party that we announced to the public? I mean, damn, I'm like 30 years out of my repossession. I can finally say, okay, yes, I had a repossession. This just happened to her not too long ago. And she's up here, for those who can't see the camera, she's doing her dance. When did it become popular to dance because you're broke, you don't understand money, and your husband doesn't understand money? All right? You buy a used Audi with 100,000 miles on it to make up for the Tahoe that you lost. When did it become socially, I don't know if the word's acceptable, but socially proper that we're going to dance over our car repossession? When I got my Maxima repossessed when I was in my early 30s, okay, it was before I moved to Florida, I was devastated. It was bankruptcy number 2. Because the first bankruptcy was over credit cards in my early 20s, and then 10 years later, I was another failure, and I didn't understand how to buy a car. I just didn't understand how to do the math to buy a car. All I looked at was, well, if the car was $500 a month, I take home $500 a month. Okay. I didn't factor in, gas, maintenance, and I might want to have a life outside the car payment. So at the time in my early 30s when I had the car, it was about 40% of my take-home income for a car. The Nissan Maxima, which to this day, I mean, I still love that car, but I realized that back then at 32, that was 40% of my take-home income. Oh, and then count in rent, and I was one of the idiots that you see today that, and 80% of your income is between car, auto insurance, and rent. So Tahoe lady here is dancing that she no longer has a car payment, but she also forgets that just because your car gets repossessed doesn't relieve you of the bill. Because trust me, if it were that easy, we'd all just, drive the fanciest car and, well, we don't want it anymore, we'll just turn it back in. No, they will try to sell it. Whatever they can't sell it for, you owe the difference on. And that's why I had to file bankruptcy. Because it wouldn't have mattered what the difference was. I was not going to be able to afford it. And I was on my second layoff at the time. I'm sure if that had happened today, I might have more financial strategies on how to so-called fight to save the car, because I have more financial wisdom today than I did back then. But back then, I didn't have it. I didn't have the financial wisdom. And the bankruptcy was like $17,000 on my second layoff. But there was so much personal shame and tears and just how embarrassing, how emotionally, personally embarrassing. So apparently Tahoe lady is happy about it and she's dancing on TikTok. World has changed, that's for sure. Okay, this next one here is just music, and I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to also observe something. I have to raise the bifocals. Okay, it says here, having a $1,200 car payment because you wanted a cool mom car, as in mommy car, okay? You wanted a cool mom car with a double sunroof, TVs, and a heated steering wheel. Let me read that one more time. Having a $1,200 car payment because you wanted a cool mom car with a double sunroof, TVs, and a heated steering wheel. Okay, all good and well. But there's something that I noticed in this video, and I would like you to look at the garage. Now, remember that that second video that we played where the guy said, what does it take to have a $1,200 a month car payment? And he said basically a $1,500 a year income. I want you to look at this garage. Now, for all I know, when I first saw this, I thought, well, maybe this is the mother-in-law suite and the mansion is next door. And then I played the video. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it as well on the TV as I can see it on my screen. Because, sometimes there's a little bit of discrepancy, okay? I'm looking at the garage. This looks like the childhood garage that I was raised in my parents' house in Eugene, Oregon. The house was probably about 1,500 square feet. Now, unless this is the, like I said, the mother-in-law suite and the mansion is right across the street, I'm thinking this is one heck of a car payment. Again, I'm looking at the simplicity. So as I play the video, all right, I want you to look at the surroundings if you can catch it on TV. I don't know how it's going to look on TV. Okay, let's pause right here. Let's look at the house. All right, once again, this looks like the type of house that I was raised in. Now, I could be wrong. This could be one of those flat ranch-style houses. You ever see those houses on the front? They look really small. And then you walk and you're like, oh, I had no idea this was 3,000 square feet. At least in my world, that's mighty big because I live in 840, okay? But I'm looking at this right off the bat going, this looks like a ranch-style home. So that means one level. The garage looks pretty simple. Remember, she's got a $1,200 a month car payment. She pays $300 every Sunday. Yeah, $300 every Sunday she pays for this car because it's got heated car seats and a double, moon roof, TV. Don't they know that a lot of cars have TVs now where you can hook up your cell phone wireless? Like my car's a traveling hotspot, yada, yada. And that's a Corolla, okay? Let's take a look at this neighborhood. Okay, now I'm looking at the houses behind her. Again, I don't know how clear this is going to be on TV. But from what I can tell, this looks like everyday American neighborhood. This is how people wind up house poor, family. I got my tea with me. This is how people wind up house poor. Everything you make goes into your vehicle. Think of what you could do with an extra $150 a week. Now, the reason I say an extra $150 a week is we're going to take the $300 that she pays, and let's say she knocked it down to $150 every week, respectively having about $450 to $500 car payments versus this ridiculous, what is it? She's got $1,200. Imagine she had cut that payment in half. Let's say it was a $600 car payment. And to me, that's still high. I still wouldn't want that. But let's just say, she'd compromise. She goes, you know what? I don't need the $1,200 car payment. I'm going to go with the $600 car payment. What could she do with an extra $150 a week? Every Sunday, $150 comes back to her. This is how people go broke. I always check to make sure my mic's on. Okay? And this is the type of neighborhood, you're driving down the street. I'm driving down the street in my little Corolla, okay, my little Corolla hybrid, and I see a fancy car like this parked outside. I'm going, I sure hope they just visiting the neighborhood. It's where your values are. And also, you notice there's a car seat in the back. Great, so you're going to shell out $300 every week. See, that's how I look at it. Okay, I don't even say $1,200 a month. You're going to shell out $300 every week to put a baby in the back that's probably going to destroy the seat if you allow them to eat, drink, kick the back of the seat, and everything else that kids can do to cars. Again, like I said, back to that's my childhood garage. Okay, this next one is actually a skit. It's short, but I really liked it, and I'll talk about how it relates to my personal history after this skit is done. So we have this gal here. She's at a car dealership to just get a repair, or to get her oil, lube, and filter done. And the screen says, when you go to a dealership to just get an oil change.
Hey, how you doing? You're Sarah, right?
Hi, I'm wonderful. How are you?
Nice to meet you. My name's Albert. I'm the VIP manager over here. You have your vehicle in for service, correct?
Yes.
Just getting an oil change?
Yes.
All right, do me a favor. Follow me real.
That's their background feedback, not mine.
So you have your 2020 Camry here, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, I'm just here for an oil change.
Okay. How do you like the 23 Camry?
It's beautiful.
Great. Come on inside real fast.
Alrighty.
Congratulations on the purchase of your Camry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so what happened was she goes in to get the oil change, and clearly he convinces her, instead of the oil change, why don't you just buy a new upgraded car? I was in a relationship a long time ago, and we were living together, and we were anything but financially literate. I had no idea what the freaking household budget was. We never sat down and discussed it. But I can say that in this relationship that I was in, and it was decades ago, we had agreed that we were going to take, we each had a vehicle. We had agreed we were going to take his vehicle. He was going to get a $300 part to repair the vehicle. And true story, he went to the dealership, the actual dealership, to get the part, because the part had to be special ordered to go pick up a $300 part. And I was cool with that. It's like, that's fine, because he was really good at repairing cars. And he walks out, calls me up about 2 hours later, maybe 3 hours, and he says, hey, I just got a new vehicle. I'll keep the name of it secret as to what it was, because I don't like to, out people. But it was, I got a new vehicle. New to us. It wasn't new, but it was very new, very upscale, with only a few miles on it. I mean, it had like running board lights, interior neon, the whole 9 yards. I'd never been in a vehicle like that. And the payment was $500 a month. Now you're talking, that was decades ago. So that'd be like our, $800 a month car payment today at least. When I tell you, when I do commentary, which is on Thursday nights, usually around 6:15 p.m., I do commentary on the Dave Ramsey show. I say on that show over and over again, you don't realize how much of your budget, your financial security, your ability to retire and all of that, you don't realize how much of it you depend on your mate to not screw you over financially. Really. And I remember when he called and he said, hey, I've just bought us a new car. No, you didn't buy us a new car because you never consulted with me. You bought yourself a new car. Okay? And something I say on the Dave Ramsey show all the time, and I've come to appreciate this knowledge, I think, the older I've gotten. You have to choose wisely when you pick a partner, because you may choose somebody who is so money and status driven that they'll take you straight down the hole with them financially so they can get the image that they want. And it'll be kind of like, to damn everything else. So when he announced that he had just bought this car at $500 a month, now again, this is decades back, so that's the equivalent of our $800 a month car today, at least. Okay, I don't know, but I'm just guessing. I just remember thinking, we're sunk. We are absolutely sunk. And this is an honest conversation. We were actually sitting in our driveway, okay, of our apartment complex, and his exact words to me that evening, after having bought the car that he and I did not agree on to buy, but it gave him the image that he wanted, he literally said to me, he said, we have the nicest cars in the whole apartment complex. And he was right. We did. We had the nicest car. Or should I say he had the nicest car. And because the relationship was already on rocky ground, which I'm sure was part of the motivation to buy it, but I digress. What I really was thinking was also, we are the most broke-ass people on the block with this really nice car. That lady with the garage that looked no more fancy than what I was raised in, with the house looked like it was ranch style, that looked no more fancy than what I was raised in. When she did a panoramic view of the car and I could see the houses behind her, that looks like an everyday America, blue collar, what is it? Not blue collar, white collar, but middle class. That looks like everyday middle class America. And she's driving a car that she's going to have to shell out $300 every week. See, family, if you'll start looking at your car payments instead of going, it's $1,000 a month, I want you to, think every 7 days, I'm going to give up this amount of money to a lender, which means I'm going to sacrifice these other things, whether it's travel, going out with friends, for those who perhaps like to, volunteer. They're not going to have time to volunteer because you're going to be too busy trying to make money to pay for the car. Just saying. So the person you're with can really sink you financially. And so that's why I wanted to play that skit, because I was like, yes, I know exactly what's going on there.
Guys, this is what it's all.
Okay, this one here, it says customer tears of joy. I'm just going to play this clip. I think it speaks for itself. So for those who can't see the screen, you got the car dealer coming in. He's got his glasses on. And at first I thought it was a skit, but it's not. And you've got, is it her name, Tanisha or something? Just crying. Enjoy this.
I have Janika here. She came
Her name is Tanika. Tanika is in tears.
by. Listen, life is not easy. We all go through ups and downs, but you know what? We gotta dust off and we gotta keep going. And this is what she did. She dusted off and she kept going, and now she has her car.
So she dusted herself off. She kept going, kept getting rejected.
Went through it. She kept trying, and look, now she has her car. She came by. Congratulations, Janika.
Congratulations, Tanika. Here is a concern that I have. First off, the guy can't take off his sunglasses, but, I digress on that, too. My thought is, if you keep going to dealership after dealership and they turn you down, you have a problem. That tells me you have a financial problem. And that's probably a combination of, well, your job doesn't pay enough. You have too low of a credit score. Any history that you do have financially is probably severely tainted. So you keep getting rejected, and you finally find that dealer that says, sold, I'll sell it to you. You want to tell me what those terms are? Because they don't talk about the terms. They don't talk about the terms.
How was your overall experience here at Super Bowl?
My overall experience was a 10. Everyone was nice.
She said something about her overall experience was 10.
They giving me hugs and I'm crying. I'll come back. I'll definitely come back.
Would you recommend?
She said it's kind of hard to understand her. She's saying she'll come back. She'll definitely come back.
Your family and friends to come
Yes,
to Super Bowl.
definitely.
You're hearing it. Congrats.
Yeah. So this is one of those high risk loan places. So you can get all your high risk family and friends to come join you. Hey, this is the dealership you want to go to, because sometimes, as they tell you, apples don't fall far from the tree. So the high risk family and friends will come here too. Oh, sweet Jesus. I would have liked to know what these loan terms were, because I can guarantee you the interest is in the double digits. I guarantee it to you. I guarantee it was a used car. Interest are in the double digits. But at least Tanisha, what's her name, is happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Super Deal.
Okay, more bad TikTok music that I've covered over. This lady does not speak, but here's what the screen says. This is a young lady in her 20s. When my car payment is $900 at age 18, because I wanted to drive a cute BMW with leather seats. Good God. Okay, going back to that guy. that second video, how much money should she make at about with about a $900 car payment? When that skirting right around $100,000 a year, family, right around $100,000 to have a $900 a month car payment. She, okay, 2, 4, 6, 800. She's gonna fork over about $275 or so a month. Excuse me, a week. A week. She's gonna fork that over, right? About $250 or so. She's 18 years old. This, young people, is how you get yourself wrapped up into debt that you cannot get out of. And this type of debt can affect your future relationships. And these are the same type of people that will go on to carry student loans. So by the time they are 24, 25, they've racked up car debt, a repossession, been there, done that, student loan debt, and then they wonder why they can't find a relationship, why, some people just want to use others for their financial gain, and we've seen that, okay? They're really not interested in you. They're interested in your money. 18 years old, $900 a month. Were her parents? Well, technically, her parents don't need to be around. She's a legal adult. A cute BMW. Sometimes there's a saying about boats that I heard ages ago. It says they're the two happiest days of a boater's life, the day they buy the boat and the day they sell the boat. Oftentimes I think that's the same thing when it comes to these $800,000-900,000 plus car payments. And I'm going to say 700 too. I'll give grace on 600, depends upon the finances. But when people start going at the to me anything 650, 700 up is just obscene. I think 600 is obscene. Okay, but I'll give a little leeway there. But these $700, $800, $900, $1,200 car payments. Yeah, so she's 18 years old, and she's exactly the American consumer society that credit card companies and other consumer debt companies are looking for. She's fitting it to a T. Wait till those BMW repairs come. Wait till the Beamer repairs come.
I won't be able to get it.
Okay, we're almost. I think there's 2 other videos after this clip. All right, this guy is begging for money on TikTok because that seems to be popular now. He's trying to get his car repaired. Seems to be a very popular trend, begging for money on TikTok, because that's the new job trend, I guess, to beg for money on TikTok.
Folks, let's not do fake falls. Just saying, at T-Mobile, you get tons of benefits.
I really do need my car. It's been really, really rough taking a lift to work. It's expensive. It's very expensive. And then having...
Yes, cars are expensive, and this is why sometimes we have to take the bus.
Take a lift home.
Check the status. I'm doing whatever that means. I'll do the line. Check out the T-Mobile savings calculator and see how much you can save. And right now, we'll even pay off your phone when you switch.
I don't get paid until Wednesday, bro. I'll even pay somebody back the $64 if you want. I really have no problem doing that. I get paid Wednesday. I could pay somebody back. I do work. Like, I hate when people assume I don't work. I do. I just don't get paid until Wednesday. I won't even have the money to lift myself to the work tomorrow morning. That's what's crappy. I'm only $64 short to get my car out of the shop. It was $386.
So he's got a $386 car repair. He's $64 short to get it out of the shop, and he's going to TikTok. Wait till that 18-year-old girl on that clip we just saw before this with her BMW. All right, this next clip actually has nothing to do with cars. I just thought it was funny. It was more begging for TikTok money. But, let's face it, guys, when you've got these $8, $9, $12, whatever $100 a month car payments, you're probably going to be on TikTok begging too. So let's just have fun with this one.
They ain't send me nothing. They told me they got $5. I need 50 at least.
Who broke?
I know I'm broke. That's why I'm asking y'all for help.
No, we ain't broke. We ain't broke.
Okay, but we still need our. We need to tell them that we broke. That's supposed to take care of some accountability.
If we broke, fix us.
If you can't give me 50, go to the nah, baby. You need to
Why
get
you
this
going to lie?
car.
The lie title literally says, "Help me, please, dear God. I need the help today."
Come on now.
Why are you here? Like, come on, bro. We the only niggas with bills that you know.
Come on now.
Y'all watching us? They ain't.
I'm embarrassed just watching them do this.
Tell them, look, hold on. You need a job. This is my
Yeah. Somebody in the comments, because they're live streaming this on TikTok, and somebody in the comments wrote, "Go get a job."
job. Asking y'all for money. Help me. Y'all is my job. Send me money. Why y'all always asking for money? I ain't always asking for money. I just consecutively ask. I'm just habitually asking. That's it. Come on now. I ain't always asking nothing.
Yeah, we just asking with persistence. That's
Come
it,
on,
bro.
that's it.
Habitually asking for help, bro.
Ford is.
All right, and with that, we're going to close it with this news clip. And this news clip talks about how these cars cannot, well, let's see, I think it's at Ford. They'll say it in just a minute, but one of these major companies, I'm going to shrink this down a little bit, has put in a patent for vehicles that they want to repossess to be self-driving, and they can lock you out of the car and all of that stuff. You know, to get rid of the cat and mouse game when they're going to go repossess your car. So check this out.
Is working on technology that would remotely repossess a car. If owners ignore warnings about missed payments, the system starts to disable features like GPS, air conditioning, cruise control, and the radio. It can also...
In Florida, you cannot disconnect the AC. And think about Phoenix, all right? 110 degrees the other day in Phoenix, according to one of my best friends that lives there.
Lock the owner out of the car. According to a patent application with the U.S. government, the technology can also make the car drive off private property to be picked up by a tow truck.
So I got a question. I got $35,000 in credit card debt. I'm going through a divorce. She wants me to take another half of hers, and I'm struggling. I'm working 5 days a week. I drive truck as a local truck driver. And
he has $35,000 in credit card debt. She wants him to take another half of hers. I'm assuming she wants him to take another half of her credit card debt, whatever that balance is, if I understand this correctly. And he's going through a divorce.
And I just don't know where to even start at.
An attorney, perhaps.
Okay. How much debt do you guys have as a couple? You've got 35. How much does she have?
It'll be 65,000 total.
So she has another 30.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like it's a fair fight then, 30-30 respectively.
Okay. And their car payments?
Yes, I have a car payment. My truck payment is $970 a month.
Good God.
Jesus.
All right.
$970. I had a $45,000 mortgage which I had for 3 years, so it was paid off. I got from 2020 to 2022. So I had about 2.5 years. That was with taxes, yada yada. It was about $400. That was double my mortgage. And forget a small mortgage. I know people with bigger mortgages, a house, and that's about $900 a month, assuming they got it like 10 years ago. I hope this truck is for a business, and this wasn't just, hey, let's just go out and get a leisure truck. That may be part of the cause of the divorce. Money. As they say, we hear it over and over. Money has a lot to do with divorces. I think, in fact, I believe it's the #1 cause of divorce. Okay, it sits right up there. That may have been part of it. 970. Wow. Wow.
And how much is her car payment?
Her car payment, I'm not too sure of that. We're going through a divorce and we're separated at this time.
Well, dude, you were married to her. Did you have the car then?
Yeah. Well, she had given me my car back. I had bought her a Lexus at the time.
I see the problem, people. And Ramsey would disapprove of me leasing a Toyota Corolla at, let's see, my Toyota Corolla is $385, and that includes my tire replacement, which I already had to use once. That includes my walk-away wear and tear warranty. That includes my oil lube filters, all maintenance, bumper to bumper, 0 to 36,000 miles, which I never exceed 36,000 miles ever. That's considered careless. This is careless. I lease because it's a little luxury that I like. This is careless.
And she had give it back to me, stuck me with that and my truck payment. Plus,
well, I would like to know where the $900, was it $70, $80 a month truck? Let's just round off to $1,000. $1,000 a month in truck payment. This dude better be pulling in some serious money. I'm not such a car lover that I give a crap. Really. I really don't care what type of car people drive. Cars mean nothing to me. Cars to me are point A to point B. That's all a car is to me. Now, does that mean that I want to run in something, with 3 wheels and, cracked out window in the back? Probably not. But when it gets right down to it, when I went and leased my car, I literally said to the Toyota guy, and I had my lease arranged before I even walked in the door because I wasn't going to sit there and wheel and deal and, haggle for 3 hours. I literally did mine all over the phone. And I said, give me the cheapest car that Toyota leases. I don't care if it has rolled down windows. I said, I want the cheapest car. I didn't want to own a car any longer. I was in my 50s, okay? And I just, leasing is great for me. I like it. I'm on my second lease right now. If I didn't like it, believe me, I would not have done it. If I want to buy the car at the end of this lease, I can pay it off. All right. Take me about 12 months. I could have the sucker paid off in less than 12 months.
Plus a motorcycle payment, and I was struggling, so I traded.
Jeez. You could only ride one vehicle at a time. My experience. These are people who are very, very image conscious. Okay, image is very important. Being seen in the right vehicle. We got the Lexus. He doesn't even know how much it is, but I'll say it's $500 if it's a dime. We've got obviously a truck. I hope this is not a vehicle that he just kept rolling over other payments on, which he very well could. That could be how he got to $900. He bought one vehicle, traded up, but it wasn't paid off, so they kept rolling the payments over into the next vehicle. Okay, we have a motorcycle. These people are materialistic, image conscious. That is my experience.
Traded both of my vehicles in and ended up purchasing the truck I have now.
Look at that. I was right. He traded his vehicles in, purchased the truck, and anything that was left on the trade, they rolled it into the truck. Now, clean confession, and I have said it earlier before in my prior videos, okay? I had a car repossessed because I made a stupid purchase on a Nissan Maxima that I could not afford when I was about 32, all right? And I realized I bought way too much car. I figured out that my car was 40% of my take-home income. Stupid, okay? So I wound up having to turn the car over because I could not afford to keep it. I learned my lesson on that one. These people are very image conscious. These would be the type of people that I would say have all their money in the vehicles but have nothing inside the house. Have you ever known people like that? All the money is on the exterior, what people can see. But then if you go into their house, they don't have so much as a chair or a table. I have literally seen, I remember, I was in college, and it wasn't a date, it was just a friend. It was a male friend acquaintance. It wasn't like a romance thing or anything. And we had gone to go pick up some stuff, I guess, from his house. We were running errands. And the outside looked great. No, not a rich house, but just solidly, you're thinking in the 80s, solid middle class house, okay? Maybe slight upper middle class neighborhood. Walked in and there wasn't nothing. I'm talking, there were no beds. There was no dining table. There was no chair. I literally said, does anyone live here? And of course, he's a friend of mine. I'm not going to insult somebody's place. But I was like, are you guys like moving? Oh, no. And I quickly learned, Carrie, keep your mouth shut. These people put all their stuff in what you could see on the outside. But on the inside, there was nothing. And when I say the children did not have beds, the parents did not have beds, there was not a table, okay? There was not a chair to sit in. These are people who are highly image. They also buy on emotion. Guarantee that too. They are emotional purchasers. Okay, they buy based on the emotion. They buy based on image. They want everyone to look, ooh, look at you, look at you. Nobody gives a crap about your Lexus when you take it into the dealer to have it repaired or the shop. And that's part of the reason I lease a car. Okay, and please don't tell me that owning is better. I've owned a car from the ages of 17, 18 to the age of 50. I know what car ownership is. I got it. I didn't like it. I always told myself that when I got myself into the financial position where I could, that eventually I was going to lease a car. I love the option of leasing. I also like Toyota. So I picked a company that I knew that I would want to release with, and Toyota would usually with the rollover, not the rollover, what is it? When I renew, what they renew me with usually covers about 2 months of my lease, takes off about 2 months worth of bills. So once I hit above 800 credit score. Oh, speaking of credit score, my credit score yesterday was 820, so that's a record high for me. Once I was debt free, okay. So about 5 years ago, I decided, you know what, I was good enough position to start leasing, and it's been absolutely wonderful. These people are highly image conscious, very image, and like I said, I'm willing to bet what they have inside, they don't have much, and whatever they do have is probably on one of those rent to own things, or it's all run up on credit card bills. Not the type of relationship for me.
I save myself about $500 a month doing that.
Yeah, you didn't go far enough.
Let me back up just
All
real
right,
quick.
payment, plus a motorcycle payment, and I was struggling, so I traded both of my vehicles in and ended up purchasing the truck I have now. I saved myself about $500 a month doing that.
So in other words, the truck payment, $900, could have been cheaper than the $1,400 he was paying before. Jesus.
Yeah, you didn't go far enough.
All right. No, I didn't.
All right. Okay, so the problem is we're working out all the debts before there's a deal cut.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you get something paid off or figured out, she hands you another one.
Yes.
Now, this has got to stop.
This relationship was built on money. This relationship was built on money. And a part of me would even say, perhaps, I don't know for sure, but as the money started to run out, so did the love in the relationship. I could be wrong.
You've already eaten a Lexus and a motorcycle.
He's still eating it. It's rolled over into his truck payment.
And now she wants you to eat 15 more of the debt the credit card debt that's in her name.
Yes.
Well, I stand corrected. No, he still does have the Lexus and the motorcycle. That was not rolled over. Why can't she pay for her own credit card bills 30-30? Right? Men, you got to be careful what type of woman you marry. I mean, yes, women, we have to be careful what type of guys we marry. But let's since this is the male caller, we're going to take it from that angle. Okay, we could always take it from other angles, but we're going to take it from the angles being presented to us. Okay, well, what type of woman did he marry? Did she look good in a tight shirt, tight jeans? I mean, you know, I'm just being facetious here, but I can tell you, even when I got divorced, I wasn't money grubbing. I got nothing. We each walked away. Now, granted, we don't have kids, okay? But we each walked away with our own bills. I didn't say to him, you know, hey, take on, you know, $10,000 worth of this or that. Nah. We each walked away. If he's holding 35 in credit cards, she's holding 30, all right? Then I don't see why she can't hold on to her 30 and pay her half. I'm all for equal rights when it comes to you know, being responsible for the bills that we have run up in a relationship.
Okay, so we need to. Do you guys have an attorney?
Didn't I say that earlier?
Yeah, we both have attorneys. I tried telling her she keep the house and everything we put into it. She keeps her debt, I keep mine. We'll go our separate ways, and she's not into it. She's not willing to work with me at all.
Well, why is she not into it? When you say she keeps the house as in she keeps it and you continue to make the payments on it? Unless you have kids, you know. And even then, she should still be paying something for it. I've never thought that a divorce meant that it should be a free ride for a woman. Okay, I've never ever thought that day in my life. So, I don't quite understand what he means by she keeps the house. She keeps it and he pays the bills, or she keeps it, gets it refinanced in her name, and she can sink or swim with the house.
Okay, then I guess the judge is going to have to decide.
Right, and that goes February 7th. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in the meantime. I have an opportunity right now to buy my own semi and go over.
Why do you want more vehicle debt, dude? Oh my God. Jeez. Why do you want more debt? Another four-wheeler debt.
the road and make triple what I'm making now.
No, you need to get this cleared up before you do that, because she's going to end up with half the dadgum semi.
Thank you, Dave. In this case, I absolutely agree. Yes. And why does he need another debt? Especially before a judge has made a court decision.
Right. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
How much money do you have in the bank?
At this moment in time, I'm struggling, and that's what I have maybe $30 right now. I'm going through it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, audience, raise your hand if you've ever had less than $30 in your checking account. If you've ever had less than $5 in your checking account. Mm-hmm. If you've ever had less than $3 in your checking account the day before payday, yes. All right. Hey, it's reality, right? Now, I'm happy to say those days are, knock on wood, very, very, very long behind me. It's not been like that for, close to 10 years. But been there, and you never forget it. And we never lose that humbleness and humility that lesson taught us.
Okay. Right.
He's in a tough spot. I'm hoping they don't have kids. Me suspects they probably do. I'll tell you one thing, if I were him. Don't give her anything willingly. Let a judge sort it out. Let the judge sort it out. You know, it's easy to get frustrated and go, fine, just take it all. Take it all. Once you've put something like that in writing, it can be used against you, I'm sure, in a court of law. Okay? You made your offer. She said no. Now you let the judge deal with it. The end. Don't just voluntarily give it up. Absolutely not.
You're not driving over the road now, or you are? You just cut out on me, man.
That's why we're going through the divorce. We drove team over the road together, me and her together. We were racking down $250,000 a year between us both. I was sticking mine in my 401k. She was spending hers, and that's another thing she's wanting. She's wanting half of my 401k also. Mm-hmm. And
gold digger, possibly. Again, I don't know. Remember, we're hearing his side. We have to equal sides. Okay. He was putting his money. Let's play devil's advocate. Okay, we're gonna play devil's advocate. Remember, this is just 6 hours ago today. Okay, so he's putting his money in a 401k. She's spending hers, but when she was spending hers, was she spending hers on him? All right. That's something to consider, and I know that from past experience. Okay. The party involved shall remain nameless, but yeah, you would have thought I was broke. Somebody had to pay the bills. Okay? And the other person looked like they were much better off than I was. The other partner looked like they were much better off. Like they're the ones who made all the money and, you know, had all the financial success, and I was the broke ass in the relationship. That's how it looked. Looks can be deceiving. So we would need to hear from her. Okay? He says, I'm putting all my money in a 401k. Well, then who's paying for his living? I'm playing devil's advocate because of life experience.
we weren't even married that long, 3 years, and she's entitled to everything I put in from the date of marriage to the date of divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually pretty common, especially common law states, I believe it is. That's from the date of marriage. So your assets from the date of marriage.
Which it's not really a lot of money, but I worked for it, you know.
You guys have kids?
There we go.
No kids, nope.
Oh, that's nice. Whew. Okay. I'm breathing a sigh of relief on that. Yeah, I am. If there were kids involved, I'd be like, dude, you are sunk. But without kids involved, okay, this is what I would tell him. I'm no attorney, but I would tell him, don't do crap. Give nothing away. All right? Don't put anything in writing that says, oh, you can have it. Let the court sort it out. In many ways, this makes it easier, believe it or not. because there are no minor children involved. It's when there are minor children involved that gets really, really sticky. This is just a straight business transaction. Straight business transaction. This can be dealt with. Yeah, it's crappy to go through it, but it can be dealt with. But like I was saying, if he says he put all of his money in the 401k and she was spending hers, well, he can't have been putting all of it in the 401k. Surely he was supporting some of the bills as well.
Okay. So are you driving over the road now?
No.
In which vehicle? Lexus, a truck, or a motorcycle?
I'm local.
Okay. What do you make?
Right now I'm $33.22 an hour, and that is all straight pay.
And you've got an
Okay, so $33.22 an hour. It's probably making somewhere around the 50s, around the 50s, maybe low 50s, right around there.
apartment.
Yes.
He's got an apartment.
What's the house worth?
I just had it appraised. It appraised for $174,000.
What do you owe on it?
132.
It's got a little equity. It's got some equity.
Okay. All right. So here's what I would do. All right. The problem with a divorce is it turns a marriage into a business transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is now a list of debts and a list of assets that must be negotiated through.
Which in many ways, because there are no kids, is actually relatively easy to do. We're not having to think up child support. We're not thinking up future college tuition. This is, in all honesty, if you're going to get divorced, okay, this really is the simplest way to do it. And not a whole lot of assets. We're not talking, when the house is worth, $700,000. And I mean, in the list of divorces, we're putting aside the emotional, of course. Okay, we're just looking at the dollars, okay? This really shouldn't be that difficult.
The law in most states, as you have found out, splits it down the middle. What she wants doesn't matter.
Exactly. And especially, again, I reiterate, there are no kids involved. This is the best type of divorce to have. Married 3 years, no kids involved. The law states from the time you're married to the time of divorce.
What you want
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. The law is going to demand that you split it down the middle. If you come to something close to that and pre-agree to it, the judge will approve it. If you come to something way out of balance, the judge is probably not going to approve it and kick out your agreed-to settlement because it's too stupid.
Right.
Okay? So, all of that to say, you don't need to be buying anything. If I were in your...
And it could also look really bad to buy major purchases at the time of divorce as well. Okay? Because buying a major purchase, I look at that as kind of buying a major purchase right around the time you're going to file bankruptcy or you have filed bankruptcy. That entire bill can be on you. You filed bankruptcy. You knew you were going to file bankruptcy, but then you went out and you went to a rent-a-center and you racked up a bunch of, household items.
Shoes, I'd sell this truck.
Yeah.
And
I looked into selling that.
Yeah, you said that like I'm not doing it. You need to sell your stupid truck, dude. $970 at $33 an hour is in the cray-cray zone.
Right. I want to get rid of...
Dave knows what cray-cray is. Oh my goodness. He is so hip.
I went to trade it in. They told me I would have to pay out $4,000 in equity, negative equity, to get off from underneath the truck at that point.
Do it.
Cheap. Hey, $4,000 is cheaper than this stupid $1,000 a month. I mean, think about it. Sometimes we have to take the financial loss to learn our lesson.
Okay.
Go borrow $4,000 at the credit union and do it.
Or sell it private party if you can make $4,000 more and get out of it clean.
Sell it private and just sell it and be done with it. Somebody will give you more than you owe on it.
Okay.
I don't know with what gas is running, the economy. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to sell a big old massive truck with a big old massive bill, but that's just me.
What is it? What kind of truck is it?
Yeah.
It's a 2023 Chevy Silverado.
That's a beast. That's a good truck. Yeah, you ought to be.
Yeah. It's a good price too.
We'll get more than you owe on it. Yeah. So, the problem is the dealer thinks he's got you coming again.
Right.
And he does. He will. He'll be back. He'll be back.
He got you last time. He's going to get you again.
Especially if you're desperate. They can smell that off of you.
Yeah.
I smell desperation.
So I think you put it on the look it up on Kelley Blue Book and sell it for more than you owe on it, and then get you a hoopty because you're driving truck during the day anyway. You don't need a big car right now. You got more problems than you need car, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is temporary. 1 year from today, everything's going to be changed. But temporarily, you've gotten rid of the car. Now you're down to only $35,000 worth of credit card debt and negotiating with your soon-to-be ex-wife over the 401k in the house.
Nah. Don't negotiate with the woman. Just let the judge do it. Don't waste your breath. Don't waste your breath.
Yes.
Because the credit card debt's going to be split down the middle. You're going to get your 35, she's going to get her 30. You're probably going to give up half your 401k, or you can give her a credit towards the house and sell the house.
Right.
How much is in the 401k?
35,000.
Okay. So
Boy, the 30s is a real big important number in this phone call.
17 of the equity in the house can go to her instead of giving up your 401k and sell the house and give her half plus 17.
Yeah, so just give her more of the equity of the house, and then you don't have to touch your 401k. She wants the house, great.
Which is probably almost the whole thing. But don't let the house stay in the deal. Do not let her have the house because you're on the mortgage, and then she doesn't pay it, you're screwed.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Force the sale of the house, split the proceeds, minus your half of the 401k that you're going to have to give up anyway, and that way your 401k stays intact.
I don't like to think I have a mean bone in my body, but hey, we all have a mean twig in there somewhere. Everybody has the potential for it, okay? The goal is not to use it. But I absolutely would not want to have a house as part of the divorce deal with a partner, you know, where we're divorced, but we're both legally responsible for the property. I would say let it foreclose. Just let it foreclose. The other person wants it bad enough they can pay for it. I don't want something that's going to tie me financially to that person for forever and ever. You know, not unless, of course, you know, we have kids. Now, if we have kids and I want to make sure that the, you know, father of my child has a roof over his head, you know, because he's got the kids part-time, that's a different matter. They have no children here. They can legally sever all ties, go their own ways.
Yeah,
you walk out of this with a 401k and only $35,000 worth of credit card debt and a hoopty. Now you can talk about going over the road and making some money and clean up the $35,000 right quick.
Okay.
But you're being managed by emotion because your heart's broken 1 minute, you're pissed the next minute, and you're broken, terrified the next minute.
And that's why you never, ever want to say, fine, just take it all, have it. I'm out of here. Okay, be very selective if you're going to say that. I mean, you know, just when it starts coming to property and all that stuff, don't just start handing it all over. Fine, you can have this, and I'm gonna give you another tip. Okay, another tip that I learned in my divorce. All right, keep your mouth shut. Only answer questions if it's legally asked of you. Don't sit and say, don't sit and remind them what they could have. Don't remind them. In my case, I kept my mouth shut. You know, when my ex chose to leave me, all right, he chose to leave, and definitely not my wish, but that, hey, you know, we can't control other people. All we can do is control ourselves. I kept my damn mouth shut. I did not bother to tell him that if he had wanted to. It's been 10 years, so he can't do anything about it now. You know, I didn't open up my mouth and go, gee, you know, you do know you could have taken part of my pension. We had been married 10 years. After I had just qualified for the state of Florida pension. I kept my mouth shut. Didn't remind him of that. As a result, I now get to keep all of my pension. Didn't say that he could have asked me for spousal support. I don't even know if it was on his mind. He was going to his new life, and you know, I'll just leave it at that. He had other places and things he wanted to be at. I didn't bother to remind him of my pension that he could have asked for. I didn't bother to bring up, well, yeah, better make sure you don't ask me for, you know, alimony, because I probably would have been the one stuck making alimony because I wasn't the one who was self-employed. I was the one with the steady job and the pension. Tip. Keep your mouth shut. When somebody wants out of a relationship, the less you say, you just nod your head. It doesn't matter how badly you hurt. Makes no difference. Keep your mouth shut. Only speak if a legal person asks you, a paralegal, the judge, the court. Say nothing else. Don't say things out of anger, because that can come back to bite you. And I think to myself, I swear, and I remember one of my friends telling me, just keep your mouth shut. You say nothing, you do nothing more. Don't remind, don't say, don't suggest, don't infer. That's what he needs to do. Let the court deal with it and leave it at that.
I'm 18 years old and earn $42,000.
Oh, hold up. So this is going to be a letter call. Okay, so it's a letter instead of phone call. All right, I wasn't prepared for that. So here we go.
He says, I'm 18 years old and earn $42,000 a year. I got into an accident this week and totaled my Camaro.
Why do I think this is already heading south? But we shall hold off on our judgment. It is not time to pour the tea yet. He's 18. He's just wrecked his car. Now, I hope he's paying for his own insurance, because even on good credit, being a male, even over being a female. Remember, I used to work in auto insurance. Being a male, even with a good driving record and insurance, is ridiculously expensive. Now, be an 18-year-old male, okay, regardless of race, all right, and you have an accident, even if the accident isn't your fault. It's a very tender age for being in auto insurance coverage, typically up to about your mid-20s. It's a long haul. So he's already totaled a car. Let me guess what he wants. He wants a $46,000 Mustang.
I'm expecting the insurance settlement will be about $10,000 and I still owe $6,300. The problem is I want a new car. Don't we all?
Oh, you know what? I think it's time. I think it's tea time, people. He wants the $46,000 Mustang. I think it is time to pour tea. Everybody grab your teacups. Tea time, tea time. Let's pour that tea. Oh, yes. We all want a new car. As you know, I just bought my new car a week ago. Okay, but I'm 56. All right, I'm 56, and I've worked very hard to get to this point to be able to get the $26,000 car, which I do owe payments on. You can follow along in my little car series, which I'll attach at the end of this video. He's 18. He wants a brand new car. The kid wants what he wants.
Y'all, I'm into muscle cars, aren't we all?
Oh, yes. Flex. He's into muscle cars. He's got to impress the ladies. Now, who's this kid? I can't remember his name. If you're into muscle cars, all right, you got to make sure you hit that gym, because you don't want a guy with scrawny arms in a muscle car, right? I mean, if image is that important to you, just saying, at 18, that image is important. You got to keep the whole image. Of course, I'm being sarcastic.
Found a 2023 Mustang for about $46,000.
I bet you did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I know it's a lot, but I can get a loan at 7% interest in 84 months.
Remember I said to you guys at the beginning, this is going from dumb to dumber? Yes. So, yeah, he can get a loan. Now, we know he's got money coming back from the insurance. Now, that doesn't tell us, however, if he is at fault for the accident. But either way, whether he is at fault for the accident or not, it does not matter. Okay? Especially at his tender age of 18. It's not going to, I mean, it'll matter a little bit, but his insurance is expensive anyways. It's going to be even more expensive with this. I'm telling you, a couple $100 a month for insurance, if it's even so much as an eye blink.
With payments of $650 a month. My parents said it's too much. Thank you, parents.
Okay, I'm going to back that up because I was yammering, and sometimes these small details go really fast. So hold on.
A lot, but I can get a loan at 7% interest in 84 months with payments of $650 a month.
80. Gotta write this stuff down. 84 months. What is that, family? Is that 7 years? 67 to 82. Yes, that is 7 years. 7 years payment, $650 a month. He's 18. Let's round him off to 19. He'll be paying on that sucker till he's 25, 26 years old, because God knows there'll be nothing else he wants to live for and die for but his muscle car. Do we see the stupid stuff that young people do, that we've done? Remember, I had my auto repossession when I was at 32. Yeah, I was about 32. And I had a affordable little Nissan Sentra. Actually, I had purchased it new, but I could still easily afford it. And then I went, after 3 weeks, I went, no, that's not good enough, Carrie. You want the Nissan Maxima. So I traded a new Sentra. This is in the 80s, folks, okay? For the Nissan Maxima. And then lost the Nissan Maxima less than a year later after going through 2 job layoffs. Yeah, learned my lesson on that. So I'm not harping on him for, doing stupid stuff like many of us have done. But boy, we look back at it. Aren't you glad you're not in that position anymore? Aren't you glad that's not your mindset, family? Yeah, so to him at $650, when the whole world seems wide open, you got no girlfriend, you got no kids. At least I'm assuming he has no girlfriend that costs him money. You have no kids, you don't have student debt. See, when you're 18, all right, I'd even push it 18 to 20. Even if you have student debt, hey, how's most of it I'm getting hot in here. I got to pull my hair up. How's it being paid for? Student loan, right? Which gives you an even more false sense of making money, right? So to him right now, got to pull up my hair, folks. So to him right now, it all looks great because $650 a month when mommy and daddy have paid most of the bills, right?
My parents said it's too much, thank you parents, for what I'm making and for being so young. I'd like a second opinion from you. Listen, we'll give you a second opinion, a third, fourth.
Had to turn on the fan. I forgot to turn on the fan before I filmed. You know why he wants a second opinion? Because his parents did not agree with his first opinion, and he didn't like that. So now he's going to go and look to someone else to agree. See, that's part of a sign of immaturity, okay? That you are not yet capable or ready or mature enough to handle your money, all right? Because when you have to go to someone else, I'm going to get that fan wave out of the mirror for you guys. See, I pay attention to those things. Okay, there we go. So when you have to go to someone to get verification that what you're doing is a good idea and your very own parents say, don't do it, and you don't like that answer, so you go to somebody else, right? What's he going to do? Because we already know, family. We already know. Jade and I can't remember who's doing this, George or Ken? I can't remember who's in the photo. They're going to say no, guaranteed. I think it's George that's working today.
Fourth and fifth, because I'm sure the booth guys probably
yes, it's George.
Agree with us.
Jade might give you more than an opinion. It might be a whooping by the end of this one. This is not a good situation.
This is what I like to think of as the death spiral into a lifelong, decades road of debt. It is. It's the start of how Americans become saddled and burdened with debt. Right? Next, it's going to be the credit cards. Then it's going to be perhaps having a partner that overspends. Then it's going to be a house that was more than what you needed. It's just this is the American way of living. Think about it. He's 18. He is the perfect victim to fall into America's consumer society. Perfect. Just like I was. Just like when I went bankrupt at 22. Bankruptcy number 1 on credit card bills. It is when someone says, they took their first baby steps at whatever months old. Now it's, oh, great, they took their first steps into American consumeristic debt lifestyle. And if he doesn't fix this soon and change his mindset, this is just going to snowball. This is just the beginning of debt. It's like if you could follow someone and see how they got into such severe debt by their 30s and 40s. Right? This is how it all starts. It's the inability to say no. It's that inability.
There's nothing I would love more than to put a whooping on Lucas, but he's 18 and he needs a little.
Did they stop teaching basic math in school?
We teach basic math in school. What we don't teach is the depths of consumer finance. I personally think it's a conspiracy. Think about it. This is one of the few areas. Hold on, I need a drink. I think family, and no one will really convince me otherwise, that part of the reason we don't teach, I mean, in depth. I have to come out knowing 2 years of French that don't do me squat, but you wouldn't give me 6 months of heavy duty consumer finance training. Imagine if students graduated from school and actually understood student loan debt. Imagine if parents were required to take a weekend class on how Parent Plus loans work before they were allowed to apply for a Parent Plus loan. How would it shift the landscape? You have to remember, all right, colleges are all about profit. Yeah, they may not be for profit, so to speak, because they're federal, state, institutions, state institutions. But the bottom line is it's still a business. The sports teams, that's the reason the coaches make millions and millions of dollars. It's about money. So yeah, they teach basic math. They teach the Pythagorean theorem. Well, that's what I always learned. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Hasn't done me squat in life. They teach you things like, now, if you have a flagpole and the sun is at a 45-degree angle, what type of triangle will it make on the shade at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Like, why the bejesus do I care? But teach me how to do student loans. Teach me how to understand that. I'm just saying.
Like skip to the Pythagorean theorem and calculus because
yes, the Pythagorean. Everything in math defaults to the Pythagorean theorem.
In many cases, yes.
Like making $42,000, and you're gonna buy a depreciating asset that's worth $46,000.
He doesn't see it that way though. He sees it as I'm making $42K. I live at home.
I'm gonna flex. I'm gonna get a muscle car.
Have no bills. The world is my oyster, and
Okay, people, didn't I just say that? It's because he has no bills. I think that deserves a round of applause on mine, because I did bring up part of the reason this seems so simple right now is mommy and daddy have paid for everything. So I think that deserves a round of applause. Snaps. Yay me. Yay me.
Can easily make a $650 payment. That's what he sees, and so I get it. But
I love that
he's like, opinion, and
he's like, the problem is I want a new car.
We all want a new car, and
I finally got a new car at 56, but I still have payments on it.
We all love muscle cars. Like nobody looks at a Camaro.
I don't care for muscle cars. I'm not a car person. I got to be honest. That's probably why I bought the 2024 Toyota Corolla Hybrid LE. I'm not a car person, so I got to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, okay? I like nice cars, but I'm not a muscle car, Camaro, what is it? Convertible. I don't do cars like that. I'm more of the sedan type woman.
Goes, I hate that.
I prefer my cars flabby without muscle.
That's right. If you're offered, if you win the Price is Right and you're offered a 2023 Camaro, everybody's going to be happy with that. So
here's
I'd rather trade it in. I'd rather trade it for a Mercedes.
Confusing part though, he says, I know it's a lot, but I can get a loan at 7% interest for.
That's another thing, folks. See, and I have said this before, have I not, family? We actually know when we're stepping off a cliff, even at that age. We have some idea. And we know it because we're having to justify it. The more you have to justify a purchase, that's the bigger flag that says perhaps you should look twice. I did not have to justify why I chose a week ago to buy a brand new spanking car. I did not have to justify it. In fact, I was so content with my decision that the next morning when I woke up, everybody's getting their hangover from buyer's remorse going, what did I just do? Okay. I felt better than ever. I've now been in my car for a week. It has something like 450 miles left to go before the gas gets refilled. I think I'll only have to fill it like once a month. That's about all I'll probably have to fill up my car. But I woke up the next morning. I didn't have buyer's remorse. I felt better than I did the day that I bought the car. That's how you know you're on the right track. When you can wake up the next day and you can say, damn, that was an amazing decision. Yes, it put me back in debt. But if you follow the car series, I'll attach number 1 at the end. You'll kind of get an idea as to why I did what I did. Okay. It's when people wake up and they go, I can't believe I just bought that house. I can't believe I just bought that car. I can't believe I just signed on for a year contract to this gym that I'm never going to attend. Always remember, folks, this isn't always about the big bills. Okay. It's not always about the big bills. All right. And sometimes it can even be more about the small bills. Okay, there are people who they'll pay attention to what car, what house they're buying, but they'll nickel and dime themselves with, all the perks of Amazon, Walmart, delivery. I mean, with Amazon now, hell, you can pay an extra $2.99 and get your stuff delivered, within a day if you'll spend $25, $30. Okay, it's all that nickel and diming stuff. Okay, but staying on focus with this call, though, we have this 18-year-old who wants a $46,000 car. And granted, he does have money coming in from an insurance company. But alas, family, let us ask ourselves, how many times have we said, oh, well, money's coming in and we're going to put it towards A. And what do we actually do? We, like little mice, we run towards B and put it there because there was something else that we wanted. A person who is this immature at being able to recognize that an 18-year-old who has already totaled a car, which I suspect he is at fault for, okay, I'm going to take my bets on it. I'm going to bet if it's between the 18-year-old in the car or a little, Vietnamese black 56-year-old school teacher driving her hybrid. I'm going to bet he's probably at fault. Okay, not hating, not throwing shade, but okay. So regardless of whether it's his fault or not, the fact that he says, well, when I get this insurance money, I'll put it towards the car. Me thinks that no, you won't, because there will be something else. Now I need rims for the car. Now I want to upgrade the stereo system on the car. Now there's something else totally that I just want to buy that's unrelated to the car. So you don't actually put the money towards what you said it was going to go towards. That's also a risk.
For 84 months and the payments will be $650.
As though
this is some kind of opportunity for stupid.
But again, as we said, family, he has no other bills right now. And when you have no other bills, age 25 just seems so far in the distance. It's like no problem there. Life is good right now. 25. He wants to pay on this car until he is 5 years from 30. And that, again, is if no payment is ever missed. If no payment is behind. Miss one freaking payment, okay, and he's $1,300 behind. One. That's all it's going to take.
I actually did the math for him, Jade.
What is it?
He'd be paying, get this, over $12,000 in interest alone.
He didn't think about that.
So this $46,000 car, you're really buying a $58,000 car.
Oh, my word.
Well, again, if he puts the stuff, the insurance settlement money towards it, it'll go down. But like I said, me thinks that entire insurance settlement is not going to go towards it. I mean, family, we've all done it, right? Oh, I will put the money when I get it towards this. It would be like me when I purchased this little 840 square foot condo behind me saying, okay, when I get my stimulus money, I'll put it towards the condo and then I put it towards something else. Or I said, you know how they had the student loan moratorium and we didn't have to make a student loan payment for 3 years. And so all I did was revert that money towards the condo. And I have a acquaintance that had student loans and not only chose not to pay it during the 3 years, isn't even paying it now during the on-ramp period. Quick diversion. All hell, I believe, is going to break loose this fall when the credit reports start hitting the non-payment of a student loan. Because right now, you don't have to pay your student loan. You can pay it late. It will not hit your credit report. Yeah, the interest is still being accrued. But I'm telling you, people, stick around on this channel because I will be following stories on that come the fall. I don't think it's going to be pretty because you have people who have literally adapted their lifestyle to not having student loans. And they've done this now 4 years, going on 5. It's been a while, right?
42. And by the way, once you pay it off, it ain't worth close to 58. It's probably worth 25.
That's a good fact.
But he will still have his muscles if he goes to the gym, George.
New cars, on average, lose 60% of their value in the first 5 years.
That's right.
And a young kid, you tell me how long he'll be interested in a car. Seriously. Okay, tell me how long he's going to hold this interest, because the next car is going to come out, and guess what he's going to do? He's going to roll this car into another car. If I could go back and talk to my younger, stupid self, I would recognize all these flags as they were happening. Like, I could actually go, okay, Carrie, right there, you just applied for the gold card because you believe the commercial advertising that said it makes you special. Right there, there's your first step into consumer debt. Okay, Carrie, you've now gone to the mall. You have purchased your first set of bed sheets, and you can't even read a credit card bill. All you're looking at is the minimum payment that says, this $500 purchase is only going to cost you $25. If we could go back and talk to our younger selves, whether it be about student loan debt, even with relationships, right there, you just picked the wrong person. Right there. You just chose the wrong person to have a relationship with. We would be able to recognize it. The question is, can we admit it? And then can we learn from it so that when we go forward in our life, we can make things better? I believe we can do it. So can you.
Right. That's right.
Goodness. And he's going to sign on to an 84-month. You know what's funny? These car dealerships are so smart, Jade. They talk about loans like they're babies. It's like, how old's your baby? She's 84 months old. Mm-hmm. Just say it.
And think about the maintenance. Oh, yes. Think about the maintenance. I think if you're going to buy a vehicle, you really need to have it paid off during the time that the dealership has it covered in full. I think that is a major key to successfully paying off any vehicle. I don't care if the vehicle is new. I don't care if the vehicle is used. It makes no difference. How much time frame will the dealership guarantee the vehicle from bumper to bumper? How much time? That's the amount of time you have to pay the car off. That is the 56-year-old me that now looks at vehicle debt. So if you only have a year of coverage for, say, buying a used car, okay, whatever it is, I'm just throwing out a number. You have a year. If you can't pay that car off in a year, that is too much car. You buy a new car, you got 3 years usually to pay it off. Can you pay that car off in 3 years? And can you pay it off without having to eat beans and rice and just completely kill yourself? Because if you're having to eat beans and rice and kill yourself to try to pay it off, guess what? You're not going to stick to that 3-year time frame payment. You're going to get frustrated. That's what's going to happen. But I really believe at 56, that is now the way I would counsel someone to buy a car. Fine, buy a new car if you wish. Can you pay it off comfortably? And when I say comfortably, I'm talking you can afford food, insurance, gas. You can afford all the other aspects of the bills that you have. Okay? You can afford your student loan if you have one. That's what I'm talking about. If I have to, work 2 jobs to get this vehicle paid off, that's putting my budget at risk. I may not want to work 2 jobs for 8 years to get this vehicle paid off. So that's just something that I use as a bar marker now at 56. How long is the warranty? Can I get the vehicle paid within that time? Because this way, you are strapped less with a car payment and a repair bill.
It's a 7-year car loan, because that makes you think twice.
Yeah.
In terms of months, for 84 months.
Yeah.
An 18-year-old like this kid, Lucas in Kentucky, is not in a maturity position to see it the way we adults see it. And that's the part that I think is so frustrating is, when you get older, you see the answer. It is so clear. You understand so clearly why things didn't work out. As long as you're willing to be honest. And I'm talking from relationships to money to your career choice, all of those areas. You start to go, geez, why didn't I see that? Or I saw it, why did I ignore it?
Yeah,
a month is only 30 days, Jade. This will fly by.
I think he thought he's parlaying this settlement into a great opportunity. He's like, listen, I'm getting $10,000.
He owes
I only owe
$6,300.
It sounds like after he applies the the way I read it was he's getting $10,000, he owes $63,000, so he'll come away with, $400 or $4,000 or whatever. Yeah.
Mark my words, family, all that insurance settlement money, when it's sitting and looking at you at a check going, Spend me. Spend me. He is not going to go, hey, let's dump this whole thing into the car. He's not. I can pretty darn well assure it. Because for someone that age, even for adults, it can be hard. You know, you get this really big chick and you're like, oh, I could get that bicycle, that home bike system that I always wanted. I can join this club that I always wanted, whatever. You really believe for a minute that a kid this immature, who's already crashed a car, okay? And remember what I've said before too. When a bill is so high, okay, 60,000, that's climbing, that's got bird's eye view in my world, okay? That bill is so high. When you have a bill that is so high, anything you put towards it seems like it's doing nothing. Of course it is doing something because it's math, but it seems like it's doing nothing. So you tell me this kid gets a big old check, 10 grand. It's sitting in his hand and he's not going to take just a little bit of that and go, oh, it's 10,000. I'm just going to do something else with it. And when you are talking a 60 or so respective bill and you put 10 grand on it, okay, and he's at what they say he'd be at 46,000. That's still only 4 grand from 50. That's closer to 60 than it is to 0.
He can use as a down payment on this car is what I'm thinking. I don't think it's that he'll owe 6,300 after the fact.
I agree with the lovely Jade.
But even still.
Thank you. Yeah. Even still, this is a ridiculous amount of debt for an 18-year-old. To commit until he's 5 years to 30 and to maintain, to insure. And what's he going to do when this car gets into a wreck? Because statistically, with insurance, this car is going to get into a wreck. Statistically.
No matter how you slice this,
it's stupid.
It's stupid. And I get so many people think, oh, I got in an accident, I'll just replace it with a brand new car. And, you know, for what I've been through, I should be able to get what I want.
Yes. People take misfortunes and they use it as an excuse. Not all people, okay? We always know it's not all, okay? I speak in general terms. People take a misfortune and they go, hey, now's the time to upgrade because I had a misfortune. You know, I was driving a Toyota Corolla for a lease for 5.5 years. Now, I decided not to lease anymore. I could have used it to get a Toyota Corolla SE. I could have used it for the $40,000 luxury Toyota Camry that I saw that was just family. I would look gorgeous in it. I mean, that vehicle was, you know, that was darn near my dream vehicle. Okay, it was the new Toyota Camry. It is gorgeous, and I could have had it. I could have had it. All right, and payments would have only been a couple years. That's all. Wouldn't even been 3. Just been a couple. But why did I say no? Because if my ass was good enough to drive a Toyota Corolla during a lease, LE is good enough to drive a Toyota Corolla LE hybrid after the lease. I don't use changes to my budget as an excuse, you know, a desire to go from leasing to not leasing. I don't use it as an excuse to go, hey, I think now's a good time to upgrade, unless I can truly justify why there needs to be an upgrade. And it better be something bigger than, oh, well, I just want it. You know, do I have more kids? No, I have no kids. Did I change a job where now I need to be on the road, you know, 6 hours a day, and perhaps a little Corolla, you know, may or may not work for that type of job? No, that didn't change. All right. That's the only way I would have to have some logical reason to a 56-year-old with sound mind, sound body, okay, as to why I would need to upgrade my car. And trust me, people, family, it was hard because I didn't even bother to sit in the Toyota Camry because that's another big mistake. I just stuck my head through the window at the dealership and just kind of sniffed around, you know. That's all I did. I went ooh and ah, and then hopped my head back out the window, you know, looked at the sticker price. Then tried to figure out the insurance and said, I think we'll pass. But mark my words, I could have had that car. This kid, Lucas, does not have the maturity to be buying a $6,000 car. And that's after he's put all of his insurance money towards it. Now just think, Lucas could have instead bought a brand new $25,000 car. Brand spanking new. Okay? He could have put $10,000 towards that. He'd be down to a $15,000 car. Have that sucker paid off in, say, even in 2 years. Even if he stretched it to 3, it sure as hell ain't 7. But that takes maturity. And it takes the ability to say, I'm not going to please myself emotionally. I'm going to please myself financially, which in turn will give you great happiness and emotion.
And that's not it. If you've got $3,700 or $4,000, just buy a car in cash and slowly trade up. Think of this as an...
But Jade, you don't understand. He's got flexing to do, girlfriend. He's got the flexing. He's got that muscle car. He can't do that if he's buying a used Kia. That just ain't going to work with the ladies. I sometimes wonder, do guys flex for women, or do they really just flex for other guys? Yeah. Sometimes I think guys just flex for other guys. And what's really sad is he doesn't realize if he is doing for the ladies, we don't care. And if you get the type of lady that does care, you probably don't want to make her your wife.
An opportunity to not go into debt again, because I'm guessing the Camaro that you had before, clearly you had payments on it because, there you have it.
He owes money.
So let's look at this, Lucas, as an opportunity to kind of break that debt cycle.
Don't forget, you can also buy gap insurance. I know that Geico does not have gap insurance, but you can add it on as a rider, okay, where you add it to your policy with some companies, or you may have to go find a totally complete gap insurance policy. Okay, this is if you can't absorb the loss. If somebody said your vehicle is totaled, it's done, above and beyond what your insurance would pay for you. I think if you can just stick to a vehicle that you can afford, you can probably provide your own gap insurance. The key is don't buy more vehicle.
And see what life is like without a car payment. Think about all the things you could do. My guess, like I said before, is you're living at home. Think how quickly you could save for the car that you want, making $42,000 a year.
At 18, that's amazing.
If he could do that, he wouldn't be calling into the Dave Ramsey show. That's why he's calling into the Dave Ramsey show. He doesn't have the ability to do that. And he won't take any of this advice. Like I said, folks, this just ran a few days ago, okay? This ran the last week. He's not going to take that advice. He has too much immaturity.
Trying to level jump.
I wish I was making 42 at 18.
Yeah.
This kid's very smart in a lot of ways.
Well, we have to remember, though, 42 at 18, yeah, that's a good income. But we also have to remember that we're talking generational differences in the sense of what can he get for his $42,000 versus what my parents could get for $42,000, which is why these young people are struggling so much. It's like I made more than my parents, but yet my parents live on a couple acres on a farm, okay, just outside of Eugene, Oregon. So my parents got a hell of a lot more for their money than I ever am getting, making $62,000 today. Is it a good idea to buy a car that is as much or more of your income?
So I'm in a little dilemma that I've almost been dealing with for almost a year with my vehicle.
Okay.
After attempting to make a repair, I started having the same issues. Now I need a new engine. I still owe about $65,000 on this vehicle that I've only had for a year and a half.
Ooh,
$65,000?
What kind of vehicle is it?
It's $65,000, and it's an Audi Q8 2019. I did buy it used.
Used? 65 grand? Used? Holy cow, I thought that was a new car. Maybe I'm just really out of touch, family. $65,000 for a used vehicle that needs a new freaking engine. You know what this reminds me of? Reminds me of that lady who bought that $85,000 Tahoe that I did a video on about a month ago, and she just got taken to the cleaners on it. Oh my goodness. All right, let's continue.
So it was a bad decision.
That's an understatement.
I know now, but I do not know what to do. On top of that, I do have student loan debt about $32,000 and about $2,000 in credit card debt.
Gee, hold on. Okay, family. So she has 32K student loan. I couldn't quite hear, but she also has credit card debt. All right, folks. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it, folks. Let's do it. Let us pour that tea. Always so refreshing. People, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is lately, but people are spending money like they had it. It seems like the last couple of calls that we have heard on the Ramsey show, if I'm not correct, people are just spending money like they got it. I mean, $65,000 for a used car that needs a brand new engine. And when people say, oh, I made a really bad decision, you know, with all the information out on the internet now, you would think that it wouldn't be hard to not only, perhaps, did she look up the car's vehicle history? Or even if you don't do that, just what's reasonable for a car? I mean, she's got $32,000 in student loans plus credit card debt. I couldn't quite understand what the amount of the credit card debt that was that she had. If anybody, you know, could hear what she had in credit card debt, by all means, would you please type in the comments for us? But that's 38,000. Wow.
So I'm looking at around $100,000 that I made up.
Oh, she's right. We just did a video we've done like 2 videos, maybe 3, haven't we, on people who owe $100,000, including the one from this morning. And even though it was 5 years ago, he's behind on, what is it? He's got student loans and back child support and all that. I'm telling you, people are, is $100,000 like the new $20 bill people think they're spending today?
So my question is, I don't know what to do with this vehicle.
I know what Dave Ramsey would tell you to do.
The warranty company only wants to cover about $7,000.
Wait, hold on. I missed that part. Hold on.
So my question is, I don't know what to do with this vehicle. The warranty company only wants to cover about $7,000 for a total repair that costs $20,000. So I would have to come out of pocket.
I'm trying to figure out how she got into a vehicle that was in such bad shape. I don't like to say we do stupid things. I did stupid things. Heck, I missed my flight. That's kind of stupid, but it's not about me. It's about her. So I have to think to myself that she really didn't understand, or sometimes people understand, but they just don't care. It just seems in this day and age, with all the information there is about how to buy a car, how to get out of debt. I mean, hell, you got shows like mine and a plethora of other shows that, you know, we just sit and we discuss debt and the things that we did to get ourselves in debt. It's just hard to believe with all the information out there that people are still suckers and still taken to the cleaners. And there has to come to be some point where you really do have to just look at and go, this was stupid. I think this was really dumb.
I don't know if I should get rid of this vehicle. I don't know how much they would give me for the vehicle, the dealership.
Well, dealership, I don't think would give you a squat for it. Am I right, George?
They haven't given me that answer yet, but
I wouldn't give it to the dealership. What's it worth? If you don't repair it, what's it worth? If you were to sell it?
One, now it doesn't have an engine, right? I would have to get a new engine. So I'm thinking around $30,000. I honestly don't know.
My brand new Toyota Corolla Hybrid. Okay, $26,000. The bill's down to about $14,000. Got about 7 payments on the whole thing. Total payment is 7. And I've made 2 payments so far, getting ready to make my 3rd payment. I would rather have a no-frills Toyota Corolla Hybrid than a broken down Audi that I spent $65,000 on that needs some ridiculous amount of repairs. I'm willing to bet that she was love struck by the bling bling. That's what I'm thinking.
And it's going to cost $7,000 out of your pocket, you said, to get it fixed?
No, the warranty company is willing to give me $7,000.
Why are they?
Yeah, Jade. I don't know much about cars, but I know you're not putting this is an engine. You're not putting an engine in an Audi for no $7,000. Now that's just what the warranty company is willing to pay. And I'm not a car expert, but I know there ain't no way an engine going into an Audi at $7,000.
They're only willing to cover a third of it.
Wear and tear. I used to work in insurance. They're going to say part of it is wear and tear. It's not totally that the engine was bad, because see, what people understand about insurance and where insurance really gets sticky, okay, is wear and tear is actually never covered, ever. And that is why so oftentimes when you go and make an insurance claim, because like I said, I used to work in insurance as a claims adjuster, a lot of it becomes wear and tear. Yes, your roof did fall down during the storm. It is now sitting in your living room. But your roof was 8 years old. So part of that was wear and tear. That's why they're not willing to cover all of it. People have a misconception of that.
I have no idea.
Either they cover it or they don't. I'm confused why they go, well, it's kind of our fault, so...
No. I just explained it, George. That's why. And I swear that's what they're going to write part of it on. It needs a new engine. Part of it is wear and tear, and then part of it could be actual faulty engine. But I don't think we know how old this vehicle is. So unless it is a brand spanking new vehicle. Oh, and she said it's not. She said she bought it used. And if she didn't cover, I think, now here's where I'm not a great expert, but I think you can purchase a car with a warranty and then you can possibly transfer the warranty to someone else, the new purchaser. I don't really know the legalities of that. It gets kind of tricky, you know. Does the new purchaser, are they willing to buy the warranty? Will the warranty company honor it? Yada, yada. But I guarantee you too, a lot of people wrongly think that just because something goes wrong with the vehicle, unless it is under bumper to bumper warranty, like my car is for the next few years, okay? Unless it's under bumper to bumper warranty, it's just going to be considered regular maintenance wear and tear.
Guess we'll cover $7,000.
Audi made a repair. 2 weeks later, I get my car. Well, I get my car back after a few months, and then 2 weeks later, after I get my vehicle back, I had the same issues, but now my engine went out.
I would fight this to where they cover the full $20,000.
She's broke. What's she gonna fight it with? That's the problem.
That's personally what I would do. Is I probably would not sleep, and I would just.
I wouldn't have slept. I think most of us would not have slept just knowing we paid $65,000 for an Audi that we did not even bother to take to a mechanic. Because you're going to have a hard time convincing me, had she taken this to a mechanic to be reviewed, not reviewed, but to be, you know, inspected before she bought it, that a mechanic wouldn't have seen that this engine's in really bad shape. I'm telling you, this was a purchase made on ego. It was a rash decision. It was made on what made her happy. That's what this was made on. This had nothing to do with economics. My purchase was made on economics, purely economics.
Badger them and wear them down until they go, all right, she's a squeaky wheel. Let's just cover this repair.
Hey, she's a squeaky wheel.
We weren't talking about you, Squirrel.
Honestly, we've been doing a divorce company since November.
Speak directly in your phone, Danielle. We're having a hard time hearing you.
Sorry.
Okay.
So they pretty much told me that I've been dealing with this since November of 2023. So as you can see, what
are you driving now?
And Audi gave me a loaner vehicle, so
that you still have.
I've been driving. Yes, I still have the loaner vehicle.
Do you have any money saved?
I do not have any money saved.
I knew she didn't have any money saved. You know why? Because someone who makes purchases like this, they don't save money. Somebody who makes purchases like this spends money. They spend money, as Dave would say, they spend money like they're a kid. That's what they do. So somebody like this isn't going to go in going, hey, you know, I've rationalized this purchase. $65K for a car, $32 for a student loan, $6K on credit cards. I've got a savings account. This type of buyer doesn't but this type of buyer doesn't pre-plan their purchase. She made this purchase because this was the popular purchase to make.
Are you single?
Yes.
What do you make a year?
$65K.
Girlfriend.
Goodness.
She and I make the same. She makes a school teacher. She makes a moving my mouse. I apologize. She makes a school teacher salary. Tell you, school teacher salaries are pretty much between that 45 to 70K mark, probably closer to 45 to 65. So you hand me her debt, I be like, game over. I lost.
So what were you thinking buying us? How much did this car cost you? 70 grand?
Yeah, around 75 grand.
So she bought a car that cost more than her job. We have a stupid person movement in aisle 2. That's what she did.
Oh.
Do you?
This car costs more than her. Oh my God, this car costs more than her year income. Think about that. This car cost more than her year income. Wow. And it's a used car at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the payment on this amount?
I know. The payment is high.
What is it?
So I'm currently, it's about $1,600 a month.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I can't keep up with the notes on this, family. I cannot. I mean, you know me. I write my notes down. See. Oh, my God. I cannot. This was, when I said this was stupid, I figured there was some limit to stupid. This is stupid beyond words. We are past naivety and a little innocence of, bad movement. No, this was just stupid. I got to make sure I heard that right. $1,600 a month? Let's just, hold on.
The payment is high.
What is it?
So I'm currently, it's about $1,600 a month. Plus
Girlfriend.
I know. We're all breathing, family. We're all breathing. I'm in it with you. $1,600. Let me put this in perspective, okay? Because as they said, she and I make the same income, right? My entire cost of living, all right? My entire cost of living, once I pay off my little car, my little Toyota Corolla, all right, I'm going to go back to being debt-free again. Okay, I've got a 7-month interruption. My entire cost of living is $1,700. And I did a math breakdown on this channel maybe about 2 months ago. Yeah, about 2 months ago when I purchased the car. That's my entire cost of living. And that includes my medical insurance. Well, actually, that didn't include my medical. I want to be accurate here. No, it doesn't include medical insurance because that comes out of my paycheck and I never see it. So, and I haven't seen it in 18 years, but I am medically insured. So putting that aside, that includes $500 a month for food, my auto insurance, my $435 HOA. All right, it's everything. My entire cost of living. Once I'm back to, having my car paid and I go back to my debt freedom, all right, is her car payment. This is how we kill ourselves financially. Absolutely kill ourselves. And these are the type of movements that, like I said, there comes a point where I can innocently say, okay, the first move, yeah, that wasn't real good. Okay, we'll put it, we'll give you some leeway there. And then the next movement, that wasn't so good either. But then there comes a point where it's just, I get that dumb. And I'm trying to say that with some sensitivity, but there really comes a point where it goes, are you that dumb? And I think it's because this is a series of steps. This isn't, even when I had my car repoed, all right, in my early 30s, it was one car purchase, oops, too much, the end, car gone. This is one car purchase. Did not apparently check to see what the condition of the car was. I don't think she understands warranty very well, all right? Because for the most part, if warranties don't have to pay it, they're not going to, but you can pretty much bet she didn't really look at that. No savings account, buys a car that's way, or at least equal, to her income, all right? Has credit card debt, student loan debt on top of all that. and then sets herself up for $1,600. I swear if I'm hearing correct, it's $1,600 a month car payment. There comes a point where it's just stupid, and this is just stupid.
1,600?
I'm paying yes,
What's the interest rate?
12%.
I try not to call people stupid on this show because I think Dave Ramsey does that enough for us. But you know what? I'm going to have to stand behind him. If I wish Dave Ramsey were here. This is where Dave Ramsey needs to be. Because this is stupid. I think this is probably, whenever I think I've heard a call and I go, it can't get worse. This is with the exception of the lady in the Tahoe, with the exception of the Tahoe, the one with the $80,000 Tahoe, that's the only car that beats this. All right. That's the only call that beats this regarding, well, she wasn't a call. That was a TikTok video. Okay. Other than that, but as far as Dave Ramsey calls, in the 250 or so calls I've been listening to, this is the dumbest, most stupid thing I've ever seen anybody do with a vehicle. Other categories, room for nominees. But as far as with a car, 12% interest. And they think she's going to be able to go in and negotiate them paying more than $7,000 for the car warranty. No, she's not going to be able to do that. She doesn't have the intelligence to do it. I am blown away.
Woo!
Jade's stretching. She might need to take a walk.
I need to take a walk.
I totally got screwed.
No. You didn't get screwed. Let us make sure that we are accurate on this. She didn't get screwed. Okay? You only get screwed when you don't have a say in what's going to happen to you. That's when you can get screwed. You take on a new job, you quit your job, you fly across country because the job said that they were going to hire you. You put it in your, best faith effort. You do your time, and 3 months after you move, the job goes, well, you know what? We decided we're going to close shop and we don't need you anymore. That's when you get screwed. We don't get screwed because we made a decision that was not in our favor due to our either impulsive decision to buy something that we really want now, due to our naivety, due to our lack or desire to take the time to look up information. All she had to do was go to the computer and type in, is 12% a good interest rate on a car? Is it a good idea to buy a car that is as much or more of your income? She did not get screwed. She is passing the blame to someone else. She is 110% to blame. And this is something, if people want to get out of debt, they're going to have to start embracing this thought process, because you can't change your behavior in spending money so long as you can find someone else to blame for your financial situation. So when somebody says, well, I got, let's just take her case, okay? When she says, I got screwed, no, lady, you screwed yourself. All right? She made this choice. I made the choice to take on student loan debt. I made the choice to take on a car that I couldn't afford. But guess what, folks? I now have a car that I can afford, and I made that choice too. So did I screw myself in buying a Toyota Corolla? You can't say you got screwed over by your own decisions when things don't work out because you made bad decisions. Otherwise, I'm just as screwed over with this Toyota Corolla if it is truly out of my control, just as I was screwed over when I got a Maxima, all right? that I couldn't afford. People can't have it both ways. And what happens is when finances don't go the way that someone wants due to their own lack of initiative to understand what they're doing, they will say, well, I got taken to the cleaners. I got screwed over. No, you didn't get screwed over. You didn't get taken to the cleaners. You chose it. Did I get screwed over because I took on student loan debt that I couldn't afford? No, I did not get screwed over. Was it a bad personal decision that I made to take on student loan debt I could not afford? Yes, that was a bad personal decision. Who screwed themselves over? I screwed myself over on that. It's a different way of thinking, but it's a way that allows you to take control of your financial situation. You can't pass the ball to someone else. And it's not because, you know, and I've said it before, it's not that, you know, the other party doesn't have maybe a minuscule percentage of responsibility, such as, you know, they decided to break all moral code and just take advantage of your naivety. But ultimately, in the end, that responsibility has to be yours. Because if it's not yours, how are you going to fix it and how are you going to learn from it? You won't. You're going to be totally reliant on someone else to take care of you financially. That can't happen. So for you to accept responsibility, for me to say, you know what, I accept that I made these financial decisions. And it can be anything from the person you married, the job you took, the career you chose, the city you chose, the city you did or did not move to. All of these decisions were made by me with my express permission. Nobody forced me. So if the result does not turn out, regardless of the actions of other people, if the results don't turn out the way I want, I can't blame somebody else. I can't afford to blame somebody else because that takes away my control to fix my situation. She was stupid. We've all done stupid things, but on the ladder of stupid, this is really, really stupid. It is what it is.
No, you didn't get screwed. You chose this. Let's be honest.
Whoa, whoa, hold up, family. Hold up. Yeah. There. See? That great big speech that I just went on. Exactly. This was a choice. This was a choice. It's hard to look at ourselves in the mirror, family, and it's hard to look at yourself and go, yeah, I chose this house. I chose to buy the house and I chose not to have it inspected because I got hyped up in the media of, oh my God, if we don't get a house today, we'll never get one. Right? I chose to buy this car. I chose that I was going to buy this $500 dress for a one-time event. It's all these decisions that we make. But so long as someone didn't point a gun at you and tell you you had to do it, right? Wow. See, so at least I'm on the same page. You can't afford to give the responsibility to someone else if you want to learn from your mistakes and get out of debt.
You're renting it out like on Turo or something?
Yeah.
So you fell for the scheme that I'm going to make money off this and they'll pay the payment for me.
Pretty much.
No, not pretty. Okay, I think I get it. Okay, not pretty much. Pretty much again, it's taken away responsibility. It's given the responsibility to somebody else. No, you were trying to make. She was flipping cars, is from what I understand. Like people flip houses and lose. Okay, everything on the internet always sounds so easy. Oh, just go rent a house. Just go rent out houses and flip it. Just go get cars and flip it. Kind of sounds like the equivalent of what she was trying to do. Your stupidity is showing.
And then my other vehicle that I had, it ended up getting stolen from me. So I ended up using the Audi. And then...
Someone stole your vehicle?
Yes.
So she was renting out the Audi. If I'm understanding correctly, she was renting out the Audi and figured enough people would rent it, yada, yada, that it would be paid for. And then this huge engine thing came up and...
And they never found it?
They never found it, no.
Here's what
Did insurance cover it?
Yes. I got insurance and Gap, so they did cover it.
And what'd you do with the insurance money?
Yes.
They didn't give me anything because I had still owed on that vehicle.
Oh, my.
It's not.
This is greed. Her greed is what got her. Her greed is what got her. So help me. That's what it is. This girl was out to make a fast, but this is now starting to come together. She was out to make some fast money, and she thought that she was so creative and so, such a genius that she could work the system. Guys, this is, people who go flipping property, and I'm not saying there aren't people who are successful at it, okay? There clearly are. But I'm willing to bet there are more stupid people about it than there are people who are really successful at it. She was looking for a fast, but it's almost like, not saying she's a gambleaholic, okay? But she gambled that this Audi was going to solve her financial problem. And because to her, this Audi, this is kind of how I see it. It was just a toy. It was just a financial tool of manipulation. She didn't bother to look at what it was actually going to do to her finances if everything fell apart.
Your first rodeo making bad decisions.
Yeah, I know.
No. She's had enough rodeos on this. She could own the show.
So this vehicle, I don't know what to do.
So tell me again, you said it before, but I was writing down. So warranty so far is only going to pay $7,000. What are you on the hook for?
She said 20,000, so minus 7, so it'd be about 13 grand for the repair. Because I think she said the repair was 20. Oh, family, where's my fan?
I would have to pay the difference. They said the total cost would be about $20,000 just to get a new engine.
Okay, so you're on for 13.
Let's play out both scenarios. Let's say you sold it as is and you get $30,000. That's what you told us. That means you're in the hole $35,000, where you need to go out and find $35,000, whether it's your own money or getting a loan.
She has no money, George. She ain't got no money, and who's going to give a loan to someone who makes $62,000 but is $100,000 in debt? My credit union ain't gonna do it. We got to think here, okay? Especially in this economy. Family, this ran just a few hours ago today.
You need to go into debt another $35,000. The other option is you're in debt $13,000 extra to cover this engine repair because the warranty company's going to cover $7,000, right?
Yes.
So on paper, option B is a better option. They're both terrible. But that's a better option right now, is that you get the engine repaired. And then you're able to at least sell it.
Family, anybody up for a used Audi with no engine? Any takers? Nobody? Okay. Anybody up for an Audi with maybe the engine is repaired, but then you find out it's not the original engine, it's a repaired, replaced, whatever engine? Even if it's an original, even if it's a... what is it? A brand name engine, from the actual company. Are you going to spend that type of money when you could probably just go buy a new one at this point? This is just me. I don't do repaired engines. I understand there are people who are like, hobbyists that go at home and on a Saturday, they just love to lay out all the car parts on the driveway and fix it. I'm not talking about you guys. Okay, I'm talking people like me who don't go and we don't repair vehicles. We don't have the technical skills to do it. So from my POV point of view, all right, I will not buy a vehicle that has a remade engine, rebuilt engine. I don't care if the engine's, a manufacturer stamp of approval engine. I have this belief that once the original engine is out, I don't think cars run the same way. I just don't. Again, speaking from experience.
So that's what I would do if I was in your shoes. Whatever you need to do to get this engine repaired, do that and then sell the vehicle immediately.
But she doesn't have the money for the repairs. Again, I'm putting myself in her shoes, okay? My teacher income. She and I matter of fact, I made a little bit more with my part-time job. So she and I, back-to-back identical. You hand me credit card debt. You hand me a car debt that has $13,000 remaining. Don't forget her student loan, family. Don't we have student loan on here? Yeah, don't forget her $32,000 student loan. And you think this chickie's gonna go out and get a loan? A credit union would laugh at her. Don't even bother applying to Bank of America, because they don't approve anybody.
Not to the dealer.
Not to the. They're going to screw you on this deal because they already did. Mm-hmm. So you'd have to sell a private party.
No. She screwed herself on this deal.
To get the most value out of it.
And I want you to get with somebody on this, because cars, I know you've been trying to make it your thing, but I don't think it's your thing. And so find the wisest person that you know. I don't know if that's dad or big brother or a cousin or your best friend's brother, whoever it is. Get with that person when it's time to sell this vehicle and when it's time to get this vehicle fixed, because I don't want them taking you for a ride, figuratively, comes to...
Wait, no pun intended on that.
The price anymore on this. I just feel like you've been screwed every which way possible, and I don't want that to continue.
But she did it to herself. So I'm just saying, Jade can't, the lovely Jade, okay? Jade can't say, well, no, it's, your fault, but you've been screwed. No. She screwed herself. So what we need to say is, you've screwed yourself in every way possible.
In cash.
I still think you don't need to worry about that until you're out of debt completely. You get the student loans knocked out, the credit cards knocked out, you have an emergency fund.
We're making it sound like $35,000 of student loans is going to be really easy. Just get the student loans knocked out. The girl still has credit cards too. How many students right now with she has $32,000 in student loans? Okay, she has $32,000 in student loans. I mean, we're sounding like she's just going to knock this stuff all right out next week. Those student loans, from the way this girl seems to spend money, could probably just grow. And like I said, because this came just a few hours ago, I'm willing to bet she isn't paying on those student loans. Because remember, we're still in the on-ramp period. Life is going to kick her hard.
And let's get the income up, then let's save up and pay cash. So this could be years down the road. But for now, we need to figure out a way to get that 13 grand. That might be you go to a credit union if your credit's not shot already, and you go, hey, I need 13 grand to cover the difference to get this engine fixed. Do you have the car loan?
No lender, in my opinion, that is not another loan shark, that is not another shyster, okay, is going to give this woman $13,000 loan. Nobody. I will buy her a Pepsi from Thornton's, 89 cents for a cup plus tax. I will buy her for a Pepsi from Thornton's if she can get any company that is not a loan shark to lend her that money. And then it becomes, at what interest rate?
Loan through someone?
It's through Wells Fargo. So,
okay.
Well, you can forget that then. I mean, a credit union's not even going to do it. I guarantee you, Wells Fargo's not going to do it. They're not. Wells Fargo's not going to give her a loan. She's way over her head in debt to income.
You might want to go to them and say, listen, you got bad collateral on this thing because it's only worth 30 right now. I owe you 65. I want to get this loan paid off. It's impossible right now unless you guys loan me this $13K on a personal loan to get this engine replaced.
Do you think Wells Fargo gives a crap about that? I mean, I love George, but sometimes, he talks like, well, this is just so easy. You're just going to go down and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. It ain't going to work that way. I don't know any lending institution that's not a loan shark and their right mind's going to give her $13,000. They're going to look at it and go, oh yes, you got your credit card, you got your student loan, you have your vehicle, you make $65,000 a year. Yeah, we're just going to hand it to you.
Yeah, my credit's good. I don't have an issue with that.
Then let's do it.
She hasn't had an issue with it because she hasn't asked for a loan yet. See, here's the thing about cars, family. Car places will sell you a car regardless of whether you have great, average, or poor credit. So just because you're able to get yourself shysted on a car doesn't mean you have good credit. You can go in, day after you've gone to bankruptcy court and go get a vehicle. Somebody's going to lend it to you. Does that mean your credit report was good? No. You really know when your credit report is good when somebody will actually give you a really, a significant loan at a really good interest rate over a reasonable amount of time to pay it off. Somebody going and getting a car and shafting themselves on it and then saying, but yeah, I have really good credit, but they're basing, I'm willing to bet you, they're basing their really good credit on the fact that they're capable of getting shafted on a car loan. If you get shafted on a house that you chose to buy, sight unseen, okay, does that mean you have really good credit? Well, maybe probably a little bit better with the house because it's harder to get a house. Okay, but still. And just like we've discussed, family, on this channel, a high credit score doesn't mean you have necessarily a good debt to income ratio. It just means you juggle the debt that you do have really well. How do you have financial infidelity when she's holding on to $120,000 of student loans? Thanks so much for joining me. We're going to listen to a Dave Ramsey show that ran yesterday. It's called My Husband Bought a Truck Against My Will. Let us hear the story and pour that tea.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I fell into a financial hole this last year, and I've been following your steps. I'm 34, but since I was 17, I had my daughter, and I've been trying to stay out of debt and build wealth, and I just keep falling out of step 4. But I got married. My husband opened some credit cards last year because against my will. I've never owned a credit card until last year.
You know, it's not a good sign for a relationship when you say I got married and he opened a credit card against my will. Now, I'm going to jump a little bit, and I could be wrong. We have to hold some reservation when she says against my will, because let us be honest here. She's not his mother. Okay? She's not. And so when someone says, this person, my spouse did this against my will, my thought is, hear me out here, okay? But my first thought is, why is your will more important than his will? Now, you know, on this channel, okay, I do tend to defend men probably a little bit more, okay? Like I told you early when I started this channel, September 2023, I said to you, if I had to have been a divorce attorney, hands down, there would have been no hem and hawing or huffing. I would have defended fathers. But that is from my personal experience, okay, where I believe my father should have gotten custody straight across the board of all 4 kids. So that has shaped my view, all right? And I have an outstanding relationship with my dad, even though my mother swore at one point in life, your father will never have a relationship with you guys. Okay, that's what I was raised around, okay? And it's like, okay. And then as soon as I became an adult and I could sort things out for myself and I could get the truth of what really happened and I could use my own mind. And I love my late mother with all my heart, okay? But I had to hear some things and have my own adult discussions. And when I started sorting things out, I'm like, oh, so this is what my father tried to do but could not. This is what he said, but nobody would listen. This is what he attempted but was ignored at. And now he has a relationship with all of his girls. So when I hear a woman say, okay, hear me out here, all right? He did this, meaning my spouse did this against my will. My first instinct is, why is your will more important? Why can't he turn around and say, she did this against my will? Is there any less legitimacy to that? That's just the position of this channel. But as you know, family, if I believe the woman is right, and there are times, okay, lots of times, I go, no, she's right. So I do listen to both sides. I probably am just more willing to listen to the guy's side because I want the whole story. All right, just a thought.
And so currently I'm standing with student loans, unfortunately, at like $120,000 of debt.
Wait a minute. This is titled, My Husband Bought a Truck Against My Will. It's not titled, I have $120,000 in student loan debt. I rest my case. Folks, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. Let us pour that tea. always so refreshing. I forgot to do that for the last tea pour. What is up with these calls tonight, family? What is up? Why isn't this titled, My Wife Has $120,000 in college debt, and I finally said, F it, I'm going to go get myself a truck. See, this is why I genuinely believe we need to listen more to what men say. And I think as women, not talking all women, okay, all right, so don't come after me. Well, actually, feel free to do it in the comments. It helps the YouTube algorithm immensely, all right? But it's why I believe society doesn't listen to men enough, okay? Because as women, we have this tendency, we've already got the story figured out in our head. Yep, this is what happened and this is what happened. And we as women, we are great at seeing things from our perspective. We are. And even if I look back on my divorce, there were things that were important to him that I dismissed. And I realized that. And I want to apply it and make those changes to the next relationship. And the relationship I have, it's like, okay, I recognize this is important to you, and I downplayed that. You see? So when I hear a woman say, my husband did this against my will, I'm like, well, maybe you did it against his will. Now who's right? And whose will is more important? Right?
And I'm trying to figure out the best way to get out of it. I have 3 vehicles. One of them's completely paid off. One of them only has $6,000 left on it. And then my husband bought a brand new car 2 years ago against my will.
This woman, she's pissing me off. You notice all we've heard so far is everything this guy does is against his will. Hell, damn, I would have bought the vehicle too. And here's the thing. All we've heard, and you notice how quickly she dismissed her $110,000 in student loan debt. She just lost. Women, sometimes we suck. We really do. Not saying all. But sometimes women, we have to take a hard look at ourselves and go, are we being critical of our husband? Of course, I'm not married now, but, but we have to stop as women and we have to go, all I've heard out of her mouth is, you've broken this, you bought this credit card, you got this credit card against my will, you bought this truck against my will. But perhaps she's failing to see that maybe he's over the marriage. Because you see, it's my experience when, Dave would call it financial infidelity, call it what you want, all right? But for lax, it is the Ramsey show. When financial infidelity occurs, okay, that's usually a sign that the marriage is also over, in my opinion. But how do you have financial infidelity when she's holding on to $120,000 of student loans that she seems to so easily? Like if you had flushed the toilet at the same time she said it, you wouldn't have even heard it, but you sure as heck would have heard her talk about, and he's got this car, and he's got this car, and then he got this car against my will. She made sure to emphasize him. See, this is why I would have been an attorney, and I would have been a great attorney. All right. And we don't listen, women, we don't listen at times to what the men are saying because we have it so wrapped up in our head, our little life plan and how we think the money should go and how we think the vehicle should go, right? This marriage isn't going to last. I'm not saying they should get divorced. I'm just saying this marriage isn't going to last because she seems like the type of woman, it's not going to matter what he does. It's against her will. So that means she went into the marriage thinking he's supposed to serve her. Is that what it's all about? And here's a saying that I hate, and you see it sometimes. Something about I don't. Forgive me for not giving an exact quote, but it's something along the lines of, and if the wife isn't happy, nobody's happy. If the queen bee isn't happy, nobody's happy. You know what? That ain't ever going to be in my house. Even when I was married, that wasn't in there. It will never be, you will never see that anywhere I live in any relationship, because I don't believe in that. I do not believe that he exists for my will to make sure I'm totally happy. Because if he's going to do that, I better be given a whole lot of, happiness in return. Right? So if she thinks marriage is all about making her will happy, he probably said F it. And I can't blame him. Let's see. Somebody wrote something in the chat. Let me move this. Jamie writes, it should be equal and discussed between both parties. Right. But Jamie, she keeps saying it's against her will. That's the problem. So you are so right. Oh, Jamie, could you pour some more tea in the chat, please? If you get a chance. I think Parla wants some tea. This is where, in my opinion, she would be better off being single. And I can guarantee you, she's wrapped it up in her head. She's already figured out how he's damaged the relationship while glossing over 110 grand in student loans, which I'm willing to bet probably belongs to her. I believe that's her student loan.
And so currently I can sell my $6,000 truck. I can maybe trade in my one that's paid off.
It's not going to help.
Okay.
Yeah, it ain't going to help, lady. You got $120,000 in student loans. Remember, family, this ran yesterday. This is why I keep live streams current. I can tell you when I had $110,000 student loan and I was on income-based, my payment was approximately $300 a month, just to give you some reference, okay? So if she's on income-based, her payment's going to be about $300 a month, but the problem is that does not cover the interest. So if that's what she's paying and she's about $10,000 more, so figure her payment's around $3.25 a month, she'll never pay it off. And she got to remember something else as she was complaining about her husband not doing her will. The husband, those three vehicles can all be sold and bankrupt on. Her student loan debt can't. I believe that is her student loan debt. That's the way she was making it sound.
You're going to keep doing the same crap.
I know.
Your husband just goes and buys whatever he wants, and there's no you.
What about the student loan? I believe that is hers.
You can't get out of debt faster than he gets in it, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, so now she's found the pity party. Dave, God love you, but sometimes you fall right into that little Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole of, agreeing with the women. I mean, really.
You don't have a debt problem. You got a husband problem.
No. Her husband has a problem. She's the problem. She's the problem. I guarantee. Look, I will bet you a Pepsi at Thornton's. Okay, it's either going to be equal, that they're both the problem, and she's just a little bit more of the problem. And why do I say she might be just a little bit more? Because everything's about her will. There's just that phrase. I don't know. That phrase is like, it irritates me. Even through my divorce, even through my 10-year marriage, in post-relationships, yada, yada, I have never said to a guy, you've done this against my will. It would have to be something. For me to make a comment like that to a guy, he has to have done something that is like, I mean, you're going to go to jail for. Okay? You can go to jail for it. I don't want to discuss that type of stuff here on this channel. But I mean, okay, then I might say, you know what, that's totally against my will. Okay, it's got to be that extreme. Because you bought a truck, because we bought too much house, because you have credit cards. It's not against my will. I don't know. Maybe in the chat if you feel like it. I don't know. It's just a term that I don't like it. I don't like it because it makes the person saying it as if they are somehow one up on the morality scale over their partner. I think that's part of the reason I don't like it. It's like you're saying that you are better than your partner. Your will somehow or another supersedes the will of your partner because that's what you've deemed it as. In my household, and again, I love my late mom, but damn, if that woman wasn't happy, none of us were happy. And that's probably why I don't like that sort of phrase, or why I don't like phrases like, if the queen's not happy, if the wife isn't happy, nobody's happy. I'd be like, screw you. And I'd be the wife, and I'd be saying that.
I put him on a budget. I took away all of his cards. We talked
He's not
about
a
it
child.
I have no music. I have nothing that will. Oh, geez. I got to work on more tunes. She put him on a budget. Family, did you hear that? She gave him an allowance. This is how, what is she going to do? Tell him how many miles he can drive? She's completely deballed the poor guy. No wonder he did it. He's trying to hold on whatever masculinity he's got. Oh, Jesus.
I know.
We're not punishing him. We want him to be a grown man and actually make
And Dave's fallen for it.
good decisions.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Oh, yes. I need to make sure my husband knows how to behave. I need to take away his tinker-tonker toys, and I need to make sure that he understands this is the scope of his relationship with me. This is his budget. This is his bedtime at night. Okay? I mean, come on. And I've said it before. Okay, yes, Jamie writes she is mother. Well, Jamie, if she is his mother, she better be making him some damn good sandwiches, all right? And Jamie's still serving sandwiches in the chat, family. Parlor, have a sandwich, all right? So she's controlling this guy has been neutered. And all he's trying to do is say, give me one. Is a Tonker truck. Guys, I'm not into trucks, okay? One of those Tonker toy trucks or whatever. He's trying to say what masculinity he's got. How would you like a woman like this? Oh, sweet Jesus. Men, there are better women out there, okay? There really are. Oh, my God.
A spoiled little brat that goes and buys a truck that he can't afford.
What about her $120,000 student loan? Which I'm willing to bet you she ain't working in the field.
Yeah.
How old is this guy?
Oh, he's 43.
Dear Lord.
How old is she? How long have those student loans been around? How's she going to pay them off? Dear Lord.
Okay. Well,
Honey,
this is a marriage problem, number one.
You keep borrowing money a little bit. Because
I said that earlier, family. That was a marriage problem. Yay me. Yay me.
Because you're not disciplined, and he does whatever the flip he wants, and you all aren't going to fix this until you fix the people in your mirror.
I think that the marriage is over. I'm assuming. Yes, the relationship is over. I think they could probably. Oh, that's the typing key. Hey, something like this. Dear husband. No, wait, let me change. I think the husband needs to be typing to her. Dear Caitlin in Salt Lake City, Utah, I've decided that I no longer wish to be neutered. I can determine my own bedtime. I like to have fun with my soundboard. Oh, let's continue on, family.
Yeah.
You and your husband need to sit down together and say, honey, this is not working.
And she's going to add in, this is against my will, and I don't like what's happening. Jamie in the chat writes, in our house, we are not a parent to one another. Thank you, Jamie. Exactly. As a woman, it is very unattractive if I would have to act like a mother figure to my husband. Because I'm I'm a little traditional, okay? There's nothing wrong with a man being head of the household, okay? And those women who think, oh my God, he's the head of the household, that means he doesn't respect me, he doesn't love me, he thinks I'm incapable, he's trying to control everything. No. That's not what it means. It means he loves you enough that he's willing to lead. There you go. But for him to be able to lead, you can't also be trying to wear the pants. Right? This relationship is over. And forget the financial infidelity part and whose part, with the car and the student loan and all that. But it's just, she so easily dismisses her debt. And she's just looking at what the husband has. And I can pretty much guarantee you she's benefit off of those vehicles too. He's miserable. I don't know if they said how many kids they have, but if I were him, yeah, this is a relationship I'd leave.
What we're doing is stupid. We keep going backward and backward and backward and backward. We're acting like a couple of children, and this is not okay. This is the discussion the two of you need to have.
Yes, but who's going to lead the discussion? I'll tell you, as a 57-year-old woman who's been divorced, okay, there are lots of channels out there that talk about all these bitter women, okay? They're in their 50s, they're bitter, they hate men. It's not all women, okay? I can certainly admit to my mistakes in relationships. I can certainly say, you know what, I could have done better there. I could have been more sensitive, and I want to learn from it, okay, and move forward. Don't get sucked up in those videos, and they're all over YouTube and I'm sure TikTok. I don't really hang out on TikTok, okay? But you see them on YouTube all the time. And she's in her mid-50s and she's bitter and she hates every man that she, meets. No. Absolutely not. But this type of relationship, nah, guys, there are better women out there.